Hello everyone. This is Brother Ben and joined with Miguda. Habari gani?
Niko salama kakangu, tuko na jioni njema, labda kuna tu baridi, labda hapo.
Okay, asante sana. Na weekend yako ilikuwa vipi?
Weekend yangu naweza sema weekend yangu imekuwa vyema. Nimekuwa na weekend nzuri, iwapo mambo na ligi ya Uingereza ni kama nilipata kichapo, lakini hiyo ni kawaida ya kandanda. Sikubali kushindwa mshindani.
Lakini hebu acha nikuulize, kwa sababu mi najua we ni mfuasi sugu wa Manchester United, na kwa kweli Manchester United sijui kwamba kikosi chao kimekuwa hafifu sana, kwa sababu tunaona wanapigwa sana katika ligi ya Uingereza. Kwa nini? Na unasema asiyekubali kushindwa sio mshindani, lakini kila wakati mnapigwa, mtakuwa mnasema tu hivyo tu?
Si tutakuwa tunasema hivyo, unapata hapo awali tulikuwepo na malalamishi kama wale mashabiki na pia club kwa jumla. Tulikuwa na malishi, tulisema ya kwamba kocha ni mbaya, wachezaji ni mbaya. Kocha naye aliomba wale vigogo ya kwamba nahitaji wachezaji fulani. Sasa na wale ambao siwahitaji walipatiwa ruhusa ya kuondoka katika club. Kwanza kuna wale ambao walipelekwa kwa loan na kuna wale ambao waliuzwa kirasmi. Sasa hiyo pia ilipata nafasi nzuri wakati tulikuwa tumeenda katika likizo, na akaununua wachezaji ambao yeye mwenyewe ndiye alichagua wachezaji wake. Sasa alipatiwa kila kitu. Alipatiwa wachezaji, akapatiwa pesa. Sasa pia wakamruhusu kwamba anafaa kuleta ile formation yake ambayo yeye alisema katika defense yake anaweka watu watatu. Na yule mchezaji Bruno ametoka katika nambari 10 akameta nambari 6. Sasa alipatiwa kila kitu na mchezaji wake. Sasa unapata kama timu inapigwa wakati kila kitu chafanywa. Si sema ni kocha, lakini sasa hiyo ni wachezaji. Wachezaji pia wanafaa wafanye juu kocha alifanya kile anaweza fanya kulingana na ujuzi yake na kulingana na jinsi anapoelewa mpira. Sasa nasema tu hatuwezi kaa kila siku tunapigwa na tunasema kubali kushinda si mshindani, lakini pia ni nafasi nzuri ya kwamba kama tuko na mechi miwili ambazo zinakuja, tukishindwa kazi mechi miwili pia nafasi nzuri ya kufukuza ndio kocha mwingine. Nadhani tunaweza fanya hivyo, lakini hatuwezi enda hivi mpaka tumalize hii ligi na kupigwa kila siku. Hata mashabiki wanaumia kuliko hata wachezaji.
Okay, na kwa nini unapata kwamba sisi sana sana nchi za Afrika wamewekeza sana hisia zao katika ligi za Uingereza kuliko za nchini kwao? Yani mbona inakuwa hivyo? Ni kwamba sisi si wazalendo vile, ama tu nini labda kinaweza kuwa hivyo mpaka unapata kwamba ushabiki sana sana za timu za Uingereza ni hali ya juu sana, ukiona hata mapokezi ambao labda washabiki wa Afrika sana sana wanaiwekeza hisia zao, na ukilinganisha na ligi za nchini unapata kwamba kuna utofauti mkubwa kabisa.
Sisi wazalendo. Sisi ni wazalendo, lakini unapata kuna sababu ligi ya Uingereza iko na maarufu ulimwengu. Kwanza unapata ligi ya Uingereza imepatia kila mtu ambaye anaweza kucheza mpira katika ulimwengu kote. Unaweza jiunga na hiyo ligi katika klabu tofauti ucheze. Ukienda pale Uingereza unapata kuna wale wachezaji wanatoka katika Afrika, kuna wale wachezaji wanatoka katika Uingereza, na vile vile kuna wale wachezaji wanatoka huko Amerika, na pia kuna wale wanatoka huko Asia. Sasa imepatia kila mtu nafasi, hadi Waarabu wako hapo. Sasa ni ile ligi ambayo imejumuisha ulimwengu mzima katika klabu tofauti. Hiyo ni jambo la kwanza. Jambo la pili, unapata ligi ya Uingereza ni ligi ambayo ilianza hapo kitambo sana, na pia kuna zile ujuzi na pia kuna zile manufaa ambayo unaweza toa kutoka kwa mfano. Kuna zile sheria mpya ambao zinatumika katika wakati watu wanacheza. Watu wengi huwa hutoa hizo sheria katika hiyo ligi ya Uingereza. Unapata kama kwa mfano mambo kama VAR, hizo mambo mageni inapata. Sasa kando na hiyo pia unapata ni ligi ambayo kuna kitu nasema competitive sana kama kwa kile koleo ya kimombo. Sasa unapata inavuta watu wengi kushabikia hizo ligi za Uingereza, na vile vile unapata pia kwa mfano unapata mchezaji mmoja anatoka kwa mfano Gabon, yule Minte anatoka Gabon akichezea Brighton. Watu wa Gabon wote wanataka kuangalia hiyo ligi kwaje. Wakati wetu tulikuwa na mchezaji alikuwa anaitwa Wanyama, alikuwa anacheza Tottenham na hizo club zingine. So unapata kando na hizo masheria mpya ya mpira, na pia ukiangalia katika mpira unapata wale tunasema wale masters wengi wao wako huko. Kwa mfano ukiangalia katika klabu ya Arsenal unapata kina Bukayo Saka, hata hapo Manu bado utapata kuna wale kina Bruno, hata ukienda hapo Chelsea kina Cole Palmer, hata saa hizi ukienda hapo Liverpool utapata kuna au kina Salah, na pia kuna wale Haaland na wengi wale masters wengi wao kaanga huko. Sasa unapata kwa watu wakienda katika World Cup unapata masters wengi wanatoka huko katika klabu katika ligi ya Uingereza. Sasa ndio unapata hiyo ligi ya Uingereza iko na maarufu sana kuliko hizi ligi zingine. Si ati kwetu mwa Afrika tu, hata huko unapata watu wanafuatilia hiyo Uingereza kuliko hizi ligi zingine.
Okay, asante sana Miguda. Naona kaka yetu
ya mwisho tafadhali. Unapata pia inalingana na wale ambao waliwa colonize. Kwa mfano sisi tulipata uhuru kupitia wa Uingereza. Sasa unapata kuna vizao mingi tunatumia, kwa mfano Kizungu hapa nchini, na vile vile pia tunatumia hata hiyo bunge la kitaifa. Sasa pia ligi zao zinatuvuta sana. Kama hawa watu walitamla. Ukienda hata pengine ukienda hata huko katika Afrika Magharibi, uenda upata kama nchi kama Senegal wanasherekea zile za Ufaransa, pengine pia inalingana na pali wale ambao waliwa colonize kama huku Afrika.
Okay, sawa. Wacha nichukue nafasi hii kusalimia ndugu yetu Laban Misiani, lakini pia ndasoma jambo ambalo anaandika hapa kwa sababu yeye ni mchezi sana. Naona kwamba anasifia sana timu yake ya Uingereza Liverpool, lakini hapo tu pia anaongeza hapo na kusema broad based government, kwa sababu najua Laban ni mtu ambaye hajawahi ficha pali yupo sana sana ikifikia mambo ya siasa. Naona hajawahi hata kutoka katika reli, amesimama na pale broad based government na hajawahi kabisa. Hapo alisema hapo awali, wacha nimsome at brother Ben. Sasa kama Liverpool miamba wa soka Ulaya tuko juu ya jedwali kama broad based government, kwani broad based government mko juu kweli? Na venye watu wanawashambulia hivyo bana, watu wanasema kwamba hawana imani hata katika ile utafiti ilifanywa na kampuni ya Tifa. Walikuwa wanasema kwamba broadband haiko maarufu sana. Sasa labda we Laban hapo utasema aje kuhusu hiyo? Wacha nisome tena. Laban anasema nini hapa? Laban anasema kwa serikali imejikulia mpira kama employment. India wamejaza pakunwa kwa ujenzi ya miondo msingi kama ukarabati wa Nyayo, Kasarani na sasa Talanta Stadium. Sawa. Tutaona ni kweli kama kuna pahali ambapo labda tunaweza sema kwamba tunasifia serikali, ingawaje bado watu wanasema pale Talanta hela kuna pesa ambayo ilitumika pesa ambayo ilitumia ni ya juu zaidi, lakini pia ni mzuri kwa sababu unaona tangu ukoloni ama tujawahi pata uwanja wa mpira sasa Talanta Island itakuwa ya kwanza. Sasa hapo tunawapatia serikali kongole kwa kufanya hivyo. Asante sana ndugu yangu Miguda. Pia naona Judith pia ako pale, anasema Laban uko juu kila mahali. Okay, pia naona Brenda pia yuko pale na sisi, nasema asante sana. Miguda, leo kulikuwa na mkutano pale, si mkutano, labda tukupatiana heshima zake za mwisho babake Kimani Ichung'wah, na tuliona rais alikuwepo na sana sana wandani wake, na nilikuwa natizama na kusikiza maneno yao, na maneno ambayo yalikuja yakanishika kwamba ilikuwa ya Arun Cheruyot, ambapo alisema kwamba Ichung'wah refused to attend the unveiling of Gachagua as the UDA presidential running mate. That is Arun Cheruyot. Pale vile vile rais pia amesema kwamba Ichung'wah has taken most of his burden, the criticism and all that. Ichung'wah has been one of the people who have got it the most because of supporting president. But that is the politics. The only where sometimes I differ with the politician, my brother, is you will only be good when you are you share the same interest. I cannot remember any time when even Rigathi Gachagua was with President Ruto, where Arun Cheruyot actually called out on Rigathi Gachagua. But I can remember there was one that Sudi actually praised Rigathi Gachagua at one point when they were still, their political interest was still together. But now, but that is politics that usually happens. But we also take this opportunity to condole with Ichung'wah family, as he lost his father. So Miguda, what can you say about the Arun Cheruyot remarks and maybe what the president was saying about Kimani Ichung'wah?
I just want to add on your point by saying the people who praise Ichung'wah, if Ichung'wah could have defected from UD and joined Gachagua, I tell you they will never attended that funeral of the father. They will have never attended it. They have only attended it because Ichung'wah is one of them, and Ichung'wah has been defending their government. And you saw almost everybody was there. I saw even Speaker Wetangula and Davadi. I believe that once we are in the same camp, we are friends, and we can, we are here. Cheruyot could have not said those things if they could not be in the same camp with Ichung'wah. That is politics. Even if they could betray with Gachagua, they could have praised Gachagua. What you have said, Sudi said Gachagua is the best deputy president Kenya has ever had by that time. But today he's saying, huyo mtu ni mkabila. Huyo mtu ni mkabila. Na ujinga na upuzi. So you understand. So that is politics. Like I just want to that politics that is only convenient, and when I have any platform to articulate my issues, I have to defend my people and my lives, and that's what you can come to this platform to try to be rational, like I've told you. But that's what the masses get. The masses will get that Ichung'wah has been adamant. Ichung'wah has been a strong supporter of William Ruto. Ichung'wah was not even ready to unveil Gachagua's deputy candidature. Ichung'wah has taken most bullets. And Ichung'wah is a good person. The way Ruto said, Ichung'wah is number 39 member of the PCA church. And also, there was a story of Mwendazake in that funeral, whereby Mwendazake had a girlfriend actually, and this girlfriend had 8 kids outside the marriage. Now, he looked for this girlfriend and purchased a piece of land and accommodate that girlfriend with those 8 kids. So that was a good man. He was a man of exception. It's not easy to get a girlfriend who had your ex with 8 kids. Then you decided to take care of those 8 kids and the ex. So that was something that came up. And also Ruto said that Ichung'wah is a good person. Ichung'wah is having only one wife, and Ichung'wah is so it's like he was saying. So if you are my friend here today, Brother Benson, and I am maybe I come to your home, back at your home, maybe the people know you better than I know you, because we have just me and you, we only meet in these platforms or in town or in cities. But
Yes.
these people at home maybe knows you, knows your character when you are growing up, maybe what you have done in the area. It's not well known to me. So me,
Yeah.
I'll just go to your place. I'll praise you with all sort of phrases, but because you are my friend. But
Yeah.
I think they were just doing that for their friend. And let me tell you one thing. Me nowadays I've learned one thing, that even if you try to make it look like somebody's bad, but once people have gathered together and there's been praying, that's what people will take. People will not concentrate on what you have been about the past. And even in African culture, even if today we are going to bury a thief,
Yeah.
that thief is not going to be a thief. He's going to be a good person. He was good to the society. He took good care of his family, and that's how it will be in the record. So people will only take what has been said, not what you imagine.
Okay, Lavan, maybe I can correct you here. Makasembo was not affordable housing. That was a different project. Actually, it was signed between the government, the county government of Kisumu with another company. It was not an affordable project. The affordable, I think, is now coming at Nubian, around the Nubian. I think it's in Lumumba. So just check. Makasembo, no. Makasembo is not part of the affordable housing. It was another project. It's not even funded by the national government, for maybe if you look at it well. But indeed, when you look at it. So there's something that you've said maybe before we go into the main discussion. Kwa Kiswahili tunasema kwamba unajua mara mingi huwa tunakuwa wabaya kama bado tuko hai, kwa sababu unapata ukiwa hai Miguda, yani hakuna mtu ambaye anaweza kukupatia sifa. Unakuwa na sifa mbaya. Lakini siku ile tunakupatia heshima za mwisho, kila mtu ambaye atakuja kuzungumzia mazuri tu. Hakuna mtu mwenye anaweza sema kwamba huyu alikuwa mbaya, huyu alikuwa na nini na nini. Hata yule jamaa ambaye alikukosea ama mkukuwa mnaongea na yeye, hata mkikutana barabarani, akipatiwa nafasi pale ambapo unapatiwa heshima zako za mwisho, akuja aseme jambo kukuhusu wewe, atakusema kama huyu bwana huyu ijawahi tokea katika maisha yetu mtu kama huyu. Ni mtu ambaye alikuwa anapenda watu, ni mtu ambaye alikuwa amependa kuongea na watu vizuri. Sasa unapata kwamba sifa zetu huwa tunapatiwa tu wakati ambao heshima zetu za mwisho zinapewanwa, lakini ukiwa bado tuko hai ni nadra sana. Ndio tunasema kwamba patiana mtu maua yake kama bado ako hai. Usimpatie maua kama yeye ashaenda. Yes, Laban, Makasembo, brother Ben, inside of Ruto scorecard team, do you research properly? Yes, Makasembo, I disagree with you 100%. Makasembo is not part of affordable housing that is funded by national government. No, I'm from there. I know it well, and I have even like there's some of my friends who have paid the deposit. They're in those houses. You know, just check it well. Huo hapo naye tutapatiana rahisi nini, kwa sababu it happened, that project was started in the government of Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, just to be precise, and it was not funded by the affordable housing. No. Miguda, there's a time we talked about it when we were talking about.
Yeah, I just want to get in. Makasembo was started before the affordable house of William. That's what I want to tell you, because Makasembo was already completed when Ruto was going to launch the Lumumba ones. We had Makasembo in place, and it was clear that this was a county government, and it was clear that it was under Nyong'o, Professor. So I think that one I tend to disagree with Raban that. I was in Kisumu when I was just immediately when Ruto was launching Lumumba's projects. And when I was asking the people, what about these ones? No, these Makasembos, these are under county government of Anyang' Nyong'o, not national government, not William Ruto. And it's very clear in Kisumu town. People knows that one. They will even tell you that Makasembo is a county project under Professor Anyang' Nyong'o. And it's even, if you go there, you'll find that it is written on those board. Like project, contractor, county government, Professor Anyang' Nyong'o governor, it is very clear that it's not affordable houses. But if you go to that one of Lumumba, it is clear under public houses, that this under affordable houses. I think that one, if you have Laban's number, yeah, I can just call my friend who is on the ground to take the shots, then we send him to confirm the two. They are very
Okay.
distinct.
Let me, Laban, check something called Lab Fund. Makasembo is funded or is contracted under Lab Fund. It's not affordable housing. Yeah, just check well, my brother. I know you support the broad-based government, but this one, no. Lab Fund, just check Makasembo. Makasembo is consulted by Lab Fund. Lab Fund is the people who are in charge of funding Makasembo. So for more information, we can look for facts, then we can get yeah. So thank you so much, Mr. Migoda, for that. And Mritini meter gauge is now connected to people of Mombasa, soon launched for operational. It's okay. Yeah, that's good. Broad-based government is working, so. And so with us, we okay. Anything that is good, we will always appreciate and give credit to where it is due. You know, we cannot tuwezi kuwa, kwa Kiswahili tunasema kwamba tuwezi kuwa wachoyo wa fadhila bila kusema yale ambao inafanyika vizuri. Kama rais amefanya jambo mzuri, tutasema kwamba rais amefanya haya. Kama rais hajafanya vizuri, pia tutasema popote. So na si tu kwa rais, hata opposition and all that. So Miguda, what is happening here is we want to discuss about what yesterday we saw, especially in the coast, where SG Edwin Sifuna, Junet Mohammed, Minister Hali Hassan Joe, and Gladys Wanga especially clashed on the issue of the deal between the Right Honorable Prime Minister and President William Ruto. And if you remember well, Sifuna said that mimi sijui mambo ya Ruto. And when he said that, when Junet came, Junet also talked about Sifuna amesema kwamba jui mambo ya Ruto, haezi jua mambo ya broad-based government kwa sababu anatembea na ule mama anaitwa Wamshomba. In that, I felt that Junet Mohammed was not very respectful for Wamushomba. To be precise, as a leader, you need to show some respect, even if you disagree with somebody politically. Give the respect that they require. Wezi sema ule mama, yeah. She could have said that Honorable Wamushomba is working with or is they are in a coalition with Wamushomba, you know. So that one. And Wanga also talked about, we know why we are there, when Ruto will be coming on Tuesday. And remember, ODM, they're celebrating at 20 in Mombasa. So which means President will be in Mombasa tomorrow. So which means we are going to see how things will unfold. Sifuna will be there. I think that Honorable Prime Minister will be there. So we will see. And I think that President will hammer Sifuna very well, because that he will get that opportunity. So when you look at all this, what is happening, and ODM is celebrating at 20, we also have issues with Oparanya and Baraza in Kakamega. There's also that scuffle that is happening in the ODM, yet they're celebrating at 20. What do you have to say about that?
I just want to say, as they celebrate their 20, ODM at 20, we have divergent opinion, but also the D in ODM is democratic. And just like we have said, no one should force you to be in broad-based government. You are at liberty not to be or to be. So when Sifuna was saying that it doesn't recognize Ruto's broad-based government arrangement, that is within right to speak as the SG of the party. Now Junet just have to understand Junet that is how it thrives. The sycophants and whatever politically, but you ought to have had some decent word to the Githunguri member of parliament, because he was elected by the people of Githunguri. So you cannot just come out and say yule mama. I think hata yeye atapata comeback, Junet pia atapata comeback. But I don't see if Ruto will hammer Sifuna, because Ruto might have his day that day, but remember Sifuna is always having interviews. Sifuna will respond. The other day, when Ruto hammered Sifuna at during the bodyguards burial, the bodyguard of Raila, that after you kill SG, we can recall the founders and we can expel you. Sifuna said, okay, if that is the case, me, by the time I was given SG, you are never there. I know the people gave me SG. Until those people called me, that is when I resigned. But you cannot go on with the impunity to an extent that because you cannot be called out, that if you are called out, you threaten people to take away their SG. So I think Stephen is always having a comeback. Even if Mr. Putin will have that opportunity to hammer him, I think he will have a very good time to respond to him, because he has been very consistent, and he has even been very clear that there is no need of you being afraid because they will take away the seat from you. You know, the only thing Ruto can tell Sifuna is that we will resolve as the founder members, then kick you out. But he cannot go ahead and tell him about corruption. He cannot go ahead and tell him about abduction. He cannot go ahead and tell him about extrajudicial killings. He cannot go ahead and tell him about 2027. So I think he will be there. And Sifuna was saying, if he was a man enough, then why could he resolve immediately that time? Why was he waiting? Speaking so I think it's going to be a very good battle between Sifuna and the president. And Sifuna also responded to that time that it's in a number yake, in my phone, if I don't have your number, how can you call me? So it's a very interesting time, because Sifuna has insisted that he's not podding, but people like Junet, and let me tell you, if you see people like Junet now trying to beat around the bush, they're speaking through the corners that yule mama wa Mchomba. They let them just speak directly. If you want to speak to me directly, not go through the corners, the way Junet is going through circles and through corners. And even Wanga was going through circles and through corners. So I think they understand what Sifuna is saying. Sifuna is very clear. And that is the position of him. And he says that it will be celebration. It will not be war. So if you are coming for war, then find another day for war. But that day will be celebration. So if you want to celebrate, come to celebrate, not war.
Okay, you know, and Laban is asking something here. Laban is saying that brother Ben wa Mushomba si mwana mke ama. Yes, she is, but like as a leader, I think like sometimes you have to show respect for your colleagues. You know, even though like to me, I felt that that was kind of like she was very demeaning to the member of parliament, because this is somebody that you share with the floor. I know it's politics, but sometimes you have to raise above petty politics. And you know, this is somebody who is representing a constituency, and yeah, they might not know about the broad-based government because like maybe she doesn't subscribe to the politics of broad-based, because that the constitutions allow her to do so. So Junet was right that both the Sifuna and Wamushomba, they do not know about the broad-based, because the constitutions allows them that they cannot get interested in the kind of politics that the broad-based might be doing, or the kind of projects or anything that broad-based participating on. As the same way, I don't think that Junet also is aware of what what is their coalition, the Kenya Moja. Yeah, Kenya Moja is doing. So those are constitutional. But now, Miguda, let's come back and review ODM, because they're celebrating their 20 years in Mombasa. If you look at the formation of ODM and their messages and how they've always carried themselves as people who are fighting the social justice, and always we've seen, especially for those who have disagreed with the party stand, they've always been excommunicated in a way. And remember Magerer, especially in the position that is being held by Sifuna. Remember Magerer, remember Ababu Namwamba, and now Sifuna. But you know, we are seeing the one for Sifuna has really taken long. We don't know why. And also, when you look at all the brigades of ODM, especially Edwin Sifuna, Wanga, Junet Muade, and everybody who is there, all of them who have those positions, they're serving at the mercies of the party leader. Because the reason why I'm saying that is that every time they speak or they have a speech, public speech, none of them will end their speech without mentioning the name of the Right Honorable Prime Minister Raila Odinga. It means they know very well, even Junet knows very well, that if Raila doesn't want to fire Sifuna, whether he says what or whether he do what, there's nowhere Sifuna is going. Gladys Wanga, the Homa Bay governor, also knows very well that if Baba doesn't want to fire Sifuna, there's nowhere Sifuna is going. And all of them, those who are holding those party positions, none of them were elected by the delegates. They were given those positions. That is something that we have to know. Yeah. If you're looking at it. So all of them, including Sifuna and everyone who have those positions in ODM, those positions, they're holding them in the courtesy of the Right Honorable Prime Minister, the party leader. Because none of them have been voted by the delegate. If I'm wrong, then you will let me know.
I want to say that it is true they are operating under the master of Raila Odinga, and they are also careful whatever they are saying.
Yeah.
Junet is very careful because Junet cannot speak contrary to what Raila is wishing, or that is Wanga.
Yeah.
The same way you find out Sifuna is also just speaking what he has. Like after all, Sifuna is very concerned Raila before he speaks. And you know, Raila, if there was intention that, if there was intention that,
Did I lose me good? If there was an intention,
if there was intention that Sifuna was not aligning to the position of the party leader, Sifuna could have been kicked out. And Raila defended it, that Sifuna kona haki ya kusema kenye anataka kusema, wacha aongee. So it means these all of them, you know, all of them, Raila is the only person they fear in that party. And Raila can decide their fate, even that Junet, even Wanga. Raila can decide their fate that tomorrow henceforth I don't want to the party. And you will go. Raila will just have to make a phone call away that I don't want to see that person there, and he will go. So I think that one must be noted out, that these people, they usually get instruction from Raila, but they also they all of them, they pay allegiance to Raila. Junet does not pay allegiance to Sifuna, and Sifuna does not pay allegiance to Junet or Wanga. All of them only respect Raila, and that's how it's operating in that party.
Yeah.
And what I want to say is that if you look at the ODM, you talk about the social justice or whatever happened before in that part.
Yeah.
That's been a trend. But what I want to say is that they have tried these things for the last many years. But if you are doing the same thing the same time, no result to be in government and to be outside the government at the same time. And also it's at their discretion to decide whether Sifuna is going to remain holding brief for Baba, as experts are also working with William Ruto. If that is now the route they have taken, I think they were not crucified to be in opposition for the rest of their lives. I think that is also another thing. They may change their tact politically.
But now, how will history judge them? Because because I heard Joho was speaking about they will go for it in 2032, which means for 2027, from all indication, it means that they've made a decision or there's a deal that they're going to support President William Ruto. So after 2032, they're going to go for it. But by 2032, the political narrative will change, because look at how the political has really shifted, especially with the Gen Z taking up the political processes. They're getting interested into politics, whereby they keep on calling out leaders. How sure is Joe that the ODM is still going to command such big following, so that by 2032 now is when we as ODM, we will be running for presidency?
It is not certain that ODM are going to command that big followers, because initially, when they have a position that they are opposition, they used to carry any Tom, Dick, and Harry, not only their members. Anybody who was dissatisfied with the decision of the regime was automatically their fan and was automatically going to support them. But right now, people are taking a break. Wait a minute, what's happening here? They are in government. or they're not there. Now, it's like Tom, Dick, and Harry in that case are not going to board into their vehicle. And some Tom, Dick, and Harry, I mean any other person who is not affected in a political party, will go to opposition. So there are people who have never been satisfied with the decision of the regime since independence. Where are you going to take those people, that constituency? And also with the emergence of the new political ways like the Gens you have talked about. If the Gens, if the ODM could have remained in opposition, they could have swept the Gen Z wave towards 2027. But right now, it is the Gen Z who have, even some of them have opposed to the decision of the party, saying that they, quote in quote, not me, quote in quote, that Baba betrayed them. The Gen Z said, quote in quote, not me. The people said that he betrayed them. Where are you going to take these people? You are not going to carry along all these people to government. Then people are going to remain adamant outside. So I think Joe should come to reality that they are no longer in opposition. They are no longer. They are not going to go to this election as ODM has been all in opposition, criticizing the government and also putting government on toes as they go for election. Now they are going to this election when they are inside the government as experts. So it's a different case. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Now, and if you look at it right now from what happened yesterday, especially in a broad day, especially when people are watching, and even like when I think Sifuna spoke, then he left. So by the time Junet was speaking, Sifuna had already left. Yeah. So he did not. Maybe if he might have gotten what Sifuna, I mean, Junet said, he might have seen it from the social media. But why would the Secretary General just leave immediately after speaking? You know, does it show that there is that disunity and disorganization, especially in the party?
I can just say it's only few people who understand what's happening.
Yeah.
And a few people who understand what's happening with ODM. But I believe that Sifuna is speaking with Baba prior to any statement. That Sifuna must take instruction from Baba. I understand that rapport between Sifuna and Baba. And they say Nyongo is the one who brought Sifuna to party. And right now, Nyongo is the acting party. Because I asked Sifuna very clearly that it will be a celebration. And Baba will go there and say, sisi tunasherekea kama party, hakuna siasa hapa. That's what Baba will say. Yeah. So Sifuna is always speaking from Baba, that Baba, I want to go and address. What can I say? Okay, just go and say it's party celebration so people can come to the party. Sifuna was saying we can't suffer this party for this long time, then we are going to abandon it at the 11th hour. So to me, and Junet thrives in psychopathy, and Junet, that's how he wins the hearts of the people, of the voters. That's how he has been maintained to be psychopath. You know, there was a time in parliament, Junet said that wengine kama sisi, we are cows. We are following Raila kama cows. Sisi ni kama mang'ombe. He said in parliament, National Assembly, it's in the Hampton. He was saying that one. So he admits that with him, he's a psychopath, he's a loyal member. But Sifuna is also speaking from the point of authority. Because Sifuna is the edge of the party. That at the edge of the party, the intention of the celebration to us is going to be, the intention of the meeting is going to be celebration. It's not going to be politics, or it's not going to be any other thing. So I'm telling you about the Benson. There's something happening in ODM, but few people can see it, few people can understand it. I don't want to speculate because I'm not there, but there's how things might be happening inside that party. So I can just say the SG of the party spoke. Director of election spoke. Which one do you take? As a party member, you should rely to the SG because he's speaking authoritatively from the party leader. And the party leader has confirmed that sauti ya chama ni Sifuna, hata si yeye. So I think what will happen is celebration, not politics. What he was trying to do.
Okay, we will monitor that, and thank you, Gibson Corner, for joining us, and also take this opportunity to thank you in a special way for always standing with us whenever we are kind of like in the edge. Thank you so much, and may God bless you. And if you look at the history of ODM has always wanted to lead the country, especially to get administration and rule the country based on what they've always stood for. On when you look at their manifesto and they believe that they are the party that can give Kenyans the aspiration they carry with them, if to say the aspiration of many Kenyans. But now you're seeing how the Right Honorable Prime Minister has always almost like 5 times to run for presidency, and he goes to the ballot, but at the end of the day there are so many things that are happening that not make it not easy for him to ascend to power. And now we have right now when the government of President William Ruto was not so much popular, and now they come in and say that we wanted to stabilize the government, we wanted to create peace in the country. Do you see the aspiration of the presidency of ODM actualizing or materializing based on the fact that now there's this war, that there are those who are saying that, okay, we are supporting Ruto 2027, we are looking at 2032, and the majority of them who are saying that we are not supporting President William Ruto in 2027, we are going to have our presidential candidate, as Sifuna usually puts it. Do you see them having one day that we have administration of ODM in the State House?
Let me now tell you, Brother Benson, what's happened. You know, Junet and Wanga, if today they can speak what Sifuna is speaking, if today they can dare to attack Ruto or said, we are not part of this broad-based arrangement, I tell you, Junet will not be the next MP for Suna East, and Wanga will not be the next governor of Mobay County. But Sifuna is speaking those things, so you know where the party is. It is very clear. And even Badi, today if Badi can contract to the Raila Odinga, Badi will kick out in that expert position. And that's what I want to tell you. These people, they are just defending their positions. People like Wanga and Junet. And Baba is watching them very keenly. These are the kind of people I'm having. And you know, even look at even go to Migori County or whatever county, even say, Orengo tried. You know, Orengo tried to speak the language of Sifuna, but he was told to toe the line. But he spoke. That's the fact. He spoke. There are people who cannot even dare to speak. Orengo was solo. Orengo will do impeachment, then blah blah blah. Then it was taken to State House. All of a sudden today, Raila was saying, Orengo is my guy. Orengo should be given second term. Orengo was just strolling away. He went for retreat, and he is my person. So I understand these people. But people like Wanga, Junet, and E.T. Hall, if they dare to say those things Orengo was saying, I can tell you, they will be kicked out of that ODM party. So they know what to say and where to say and at what time. But people like Sifuna are taking instruction from Raila that go and speak these things, go and speak these things. That's why people like Sifuna are today enjoying that privilege, that they can speak anyhow because they know what they are saying. And even you saw people like Odiworo Ngwen coming out to defend Sifuna. So I can just tell you, ODM administration, to my view, is currently it is unpredictable because we don't understand what's happening in the party.
Yes.
But deep down, Raila Odinga want to lead deep down, but circumstances has enabled him to make that reality. But what is happening right now, I can just say, the people you are seeing speaking, even the people who are running that they want to pitch Orengo, they're just defending their interest. Not that they want to impeach Orengo. The party who are saying, the other day you saw somebody tweeted that this is the last time you are seeing Sifuna SG in this season TV. The next time, I tell you, Sifuna, from today, next time you come here as ordinary member. But yes, so I just want to tell you, there's things that we have to agree that there are people who are in this party, but they are not real. They are not real to Baba. They are just psychopaths. They're just loyalty, and their main agenda is to defend their position.
To defend their interest. You know.
Yeah, exactly. Their interest.
I tend to agree with you, especially running up to 2022 general election, especially when you look at the Homa Bay um, race, especially for gubernatorial. Um, it was negotiated because, like, the people who wanted to run for the governorship, at some point they were called and they negotiated, and maybe they agreed that Gladys Wanga should be given the direct ticket, whereby leaders like Kidero did not agree with that, and they ended up going independent. I think he did not go independent, but he went with another political party. He came out of ODM and went with another political party. At the same time, what you said about Junet, remember immediately after Raila lost, Junet, uh, people talked about him, about mismanaging of the election, and you'd see on the social media how people were trolling him, and he went offline for some times, and then later he came back. So they are, as I said earlier, some of them are just getting these votes because they have the name of Raila Odinga with them. Without the name of Raila Odinga, they cannot make it to parliament. And that also explains, you've listened to Junet, how he said that how he managed to get into ODM, So that is something that is true. So, but now when you look at in ODM, there are those who are in government, wale ambao wako kama Junet wako ndani, Honorable Gladys Wanga ako ndani, the Kalumas of Homa Bay, who else? The experts too are in there, and we have people like Sifuna who are out. But now, how does this one speak about the independency, or how somebody is independent in mind? Like, you have your clear mind. People like Sifuna who have stood out and say that, no, we are not doing that. Caleb Amisi, Babu Owino. Okay, we've lost Miguda. Okay, as we wait for Miguda, let me see what is Gibson Connor saying here. Let me see, Laban. Gibson Connor, we take it so seriously, and embracing the broad-based government is our priority. That is according to Laban. Broad-based is, let me see, Laban Misiani. I'm not saying the broad-based is a bad idea, but why are the experts not doing the jobs they were nominated for? Should it be about interest? Actually, when you look at now the experts, at least there's some of the things that people are complaining about before they came in, yeah, and those complaints are still there. So, which means when you talk of the ministry that is headed by Joho, in terms of blue chip economy, what has it done? Especially, Migoda, have you seen any tangible evidence that you can point, especially in the ministry that is headed by Ali Hassan Joho?
Brother Ben, I just wanted to say something on that issue of ODM. I wanted to say, if today Sifuna, not Sifuna, Junet can speak those things Sifuna are speaking, you will see the people of Suna is demonstrating, man, real on the ground, that Junet must go. And that time you will get a viable candidate. They will have their own now who is supporting Baba. Like I've told you, today, me, I'm saying, me, I can just say, I don't support base government. I can just say I don't support what Junet is saying, because me, I have nothing to lose. Like, I'm not in that party. But there are my age mates who are in ODM. They will not say what I'm saying because they fear to lose those positions. But even, let me tell you, Didi Nyoro never voted to impeach Gachagua. He was removed. Even people are saying the time has lapsed. No. We have people who have done those things two times. They can re-elect you. Even today, Ichungwa can dare Ruto. Ichungwa will be kicked out as the majority leader. So these people, they are just defending their interest. That for me, like I've told you today, you don't be surprised if someone is out of this our channel, then he will be also singing those praise and worship songs. It is because of the interest, but that's not correct. So if you see people like Junet and Wanga doing those dramas, also thing, me, I'm not even surprised. Even see what somebody will say. because they're just defending their own personal interests, not the people's interests.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you so much for that. And we are also. I told you about the misunderstanding between the CS of Paranya and the current current Kakamega governor, Baraza. They are having their issues over there. And this is coming at a time when there's also by-election that is coming in Malava. And like, they're not working as a team. What is happening? And let me just give this story, Mr. Meguda. Let me just read for you. Governor Fernande Baraza has asked President Ruto to call CS Wycliffe Oparanya into order. Kakamega Governor Fernande Baraza has raised concerns over the conduct of Cooperative Cabinet Secretary Wycliffe Oparanya. Speaking on Sunday, September 15th, Governor Baraza claimed that CS Oparanya is dissatisfied with his current docket in government. The ODM government alleged that Oparanya had aimed to be appointed as a CS for the National Treasury. You have been honored and given an opposition as a cabinet secretary to unite the people of Kakamega and the entire Western region. But because you are not satisfied with what role you are sending MPs to tell the president that you want to be a treasury CS, right now you are using MPs to destabilize the ODM party, Baraza claimed. And one thing that I feel like, ndio maana unakumbuka there was a time nilikwambia tulikuwa tunazungumzia hapa kwamba ukiwa unaishi na mtu na tuseme kwamba umetoka ama labda mlikuwa na uhusiano umeisha, usiwaseme kwa mabaya, kwa sababu kumbuka au huyu jamaa ambao unamsema kwa mabaya alikusaidia kabisa. Remember, running up to 2022, even the nomination of ODM, I think Oparanya stood with Baraza. I can remember during those nominations, how Oparanya stood with Baraza, and now anasema kwamba is destabilizing. What is that one speaking? And do you think Oparanya can stabilize the ODM operations in Kakamega for sure?
I don't think so, because first, as these two men are fighting, I saw Farouk today. Farouk was in Malava campaigning for the UDA candidate. So these people should waste time. They are wasting time. As they waste their time to go fighting each other, Farouk is almost winning. Farouk is almost winning the Malava by election. Farouk was there with the UDA brigade, and he was the first one leading that team, and he was telling them, "Indio chama ya taifa." So they should watch Farouk. So I can just say, if this issue, first let me deal with the Baraza. Baraza should stop all this, because before they got to consensus that Mbadi was supposed to be given the National Treasury and Oparanya was supposed to be given corporates. Remember, there was a war between the ODM people, the internal war, and Mbadi said that is not settling for anything than National Treasury. It was very clear. And when Ruto read the first batch for the CS, the second batch was missing. The Treasury was not there. And Mbadi said that if they can get that Treasury to Oparanya, then it's not going to take any position of those Treasury, and it's going back to the Gen Z protest, to the people. So I let me tell you, I'm telling you that the people who are making those decisions inside, like we have seen things like the issue of treasury and corporates. Me, I understand in this perspective. If you want to know that people mean business in this country, then take that treasury position away from Badi. Then you hand it over to Oparanya. Then you will now see the real ODM, and Ruto knows that one very well. And even during the time Ruto was reading that second batch, Mbadi was in the Bunge Tower, and Mbadi was just waiting for that second batch. The moment the name was read, then he said, "Okay, now the deal is sealed." So if you want to unseal that deal, go and take that thing. So I think Baraza should stop that one. Should stop politicizing that issue. What I want to say is that politically, if someone has worked with you before, like Oparanya, worked tirelessly. You know, Oparanya delivered 9 ODM members out of 12 sub-counties in Kakamega, because
Yeah.
Oparanya was the governor by that time. He delivered 9 ODM members of parliament. He delivered the county governor and also, I think, the women rep. So if this person has done so much to ODM than what Baraza has done, so Baraza looks at himself. Now he thinks that is more ODM to Oparanya. Oparanya was even the deputy, but there is no way Oparanya can destabilize ODM. At whose benefit? At whose benefit? Because the matter of treasury, that one should be a story to be forgotten. There is no way treasury is going back. Is going to get out of that hand of that guy. And you have seen what he has said. You know, like I've told you, there's something happening on ODM. There are people who went to Ruto before Raila, and Karoli was very clear that there are people who said that they came to me. There are people who are looking for him at night. So people are making deals at night. So these things were made long time ago. There are people who are ready even to use those ODM chairperson, but to be in the cabinet. So those are the people you are dealing with them. The people who are ready to have issues with Raila, but in the dossiers. So I believe that the Kakamega issue between Fernandez and Oparanya, to me, that is just a small issue. Will not be brought to discussion. They should focus on the by-election Malava, because as they are fighting in the house, Farouk is busy popularizing UDA in Malava constituency.
I think also something that is happening is that I think is all about the office of the chairperson of the Western Kenya, or I would call it Kakamega County, because I think it's Tindi Mwale that was competing with Baraza, but like there was that misunderstanding between them. So there's a group that recognizes Baraza as the ODM chair, Kakamega branch or Kakamega County, and I think that group that do not. So they've been going back and forth with the CS. But I don't think that one sit pretty. And I tell you, if Bullfighter will go for governorship, which I know he's going, I don't think Baraza will get the second term, especially if you're fighting with Oparanya, being that this person has really done well during his tenure as two-term tenure as a governor in Kakamega. He did well. He has something that speaks for himself. But Baraza has just, in his 3 years, but when you look at his 3 years, what has he done, especially in his 3 years? Cannot even, I don't think, like, I don't know, I know I'm not coming from Kakamega, but amongst the governors who are performing well, I've never heard his name being mentioned, especially in that list. So I think that even if they have disagreement, I think Baraza should find a way of solving it with Oparanya in a secret or in a closed door meeting rather than coming to public, because I don't think it's doing favor for him, especially if you want to pick somebody like Oparanya, who has been an ODM for such a long time. He has been a deputy. These are people, somebody who has delivered the way you said, you've delivered Kakamega to ODM, then including you being given support by the same person. But I think like maybe their interest they've lost interest. The interest in Baraza does not even, is not in Oparanya. So maybe that's the reason why. So he's fighting for his chance, in Kakamega, because, maybe Oparanya will not support him. So he has to start somewhere early. So, but to me, what I think for Baraza, for him to survive, especially, he should kind of like find a way to reconcile with Oparanya in a closed door meeting rather than confronting him in public. That one I think will not work good for him. I think that is my observation based on the fact that Oparanya has been in ODM for quite a long time. He knows the party very well. So that's what I think. What about Yumi Guda? Okay, Miguda, how are you doing? I think I've lost Miguda. Okay, thank you so much. And this weekend, actually, let me, Miguda, maybe Laban, you are an ODM member. What is your take, especially on what is going, the feud that is going on between the Kakamega governor and the CS Oparanya? As a strong ODM member, what do you think, especially? And this is coming at a time when there's a mini poll that is coming in the same county. So if they are having this back and forth, and they're also fielding a candidate in Malaba, so how are they going to do that? And even how are they going to campaign for their candidate? Yeah. Maybe Laban Misiani, please share with us, because you're a very strong ODM member. Let me see. So yeah, I know. Thank you for mentioning that. His second name is Odinga, but will that one will that one assist him for the second time? For the second term, I mean, because like if you look at Kakamega very well, look at what Oparanya did during his tenure, two-time tenure as a governor for Kakamega. And even if you go back in the history when Baraza was running for governorship, actually Oparanya really supported him, gave his support. And that's why he might have got the seat, because like Oparanya was exiting, and with his influence, he threw his weight on Barasa. But now what is happening is that this feud, will it play well for Baraza? Maybe Laban, tell us, wewe ndio ODM damu na wewe pia ndio ambassador of broad-based government. How will that one work? As Miguda, you back?
Yeah, I'm back.
Okay, thank you so much. As we are waiting Laban to share with us his thought, especially on what is taking place, what is the feud between Baraza and Oparanya. This weekend, Rigathi Gachagua had a quite a good weekend, I would say so, because they had several rallies during the weekend, where, as usual, he went after President William Ruto administration, and even attacked President politically. But there's something that also we want to look at. We are seeing Rigathi Gachagua being very active as compared to other opposition members. Why is that one so? Because we're not seeing Kalondo very active during the weekend. We're not seeing Eugene Wamalwa very active. We're not seeing Matiang'i very active. But Rigathi Gachagua is more active than other partners. We are not seeing Martha Karua on active. What does this one speak about opposition? Does it mean that the opposition the opposition partner are losing hope, or what is happening?
Not that the opposition are losing hope. First, Gachagua has had a very good weekend, you have said. Very good one. And he's really enjoying enjoying that opposition thing. And it's like there's no competition in that camp. And also, initially he used to have a field day, but today you need to restrategize and come back again. What I want to say is that this politics, Brother Benson, is also not that easy. Politics also comes with financial responsibility. Remember, during those times when Raila was competing against Kibaki, and also was competing against Uhuru twice and Ruto, we used to have people on his side like Musalia, Wetangula, Kalonzo. They used to not to be active, because Raila used to, every weekend he was in course, Wajir, moving across the country. So I believe these so-called political rallies or meet up people tour, they need money. They require finances. And people like Raila, you understand, with them, they have no issue with account finances, because with him, if you want to go to Wajir, just call the governor, will organize everything for him. If you want to go to Kosi, just call Abdul Saban Sharif, will organize everything for him. If you want to go anywhere in the country, provided Mutoke for ground, you just organize. So finance is not addictive to him. But Gachagua, I'm convinced Gachagua is financially stable politically. Because he bragged that he financed Ruto. So if he can finance William Ruto in the next election, now financing himself is not an issue to him. So I think finance is not an issue to Gachagua. And he has decided to keep these people into their place, that if you can't finance your own moves, that's up to you. And people like Alonso, I think they have money, but not that much. People like Eugene and the rest. And you know their character in politics. They don't like spending much of their money. But the people like Gachagua, who can sponsor a president until he is declared. So if someone can able to sponsor somebody, until it's declared. What about himself? So I think it's also the issue of the challenge they have is finances. So if you can't come to my meeting, you create your own meeting. But for you to create your own meeting, you also have to have money. I also remember these things. When Ruto was campaigning, there was a time he was hijacked by Maina Njenga in his campaign, like during when he was addressing the people. And he responded to Maina Njenga, hii mkutano ni yangu. Ukitaka mkutano tengeneza yako. It means these things you must make the, yani lazima ikue yako ume invest on them in terms of money, in terms of inviting people to come to your meeting. Even Gachagua do mobilize. So you don't know the security setup, the bouncers, the people who are protecting him, the mobilization team, and also so I think mambo na pesa is a challenge to other people. So the people who have financial muscles will thrive politically than the people who are less financially stable in the national politics.
Okay, this is what Laban said. I asked Laban about something to share with us about, hey, Brother Ben, Barasa will retain his seat comfortably. Boni Khalwale ni kelele ya chura in Kakamega politics. Eh, ya kijinyi. Okay, you know, and something that we also have to agree with Rigathi Gachagua, especially to me, the reason why Rigathi Gachagua is very active, or as compared to other political partners, especially Kalonzo Musyoka and the rest, is that Rigathi Gachagua want to make sure that he contain, or he doesn't want to make the influence of President William Ruto to in central Kenya, because like majority of his campaigns revolve around Mount Kenya. So he's consolidating and making sure that the president does not get any votes from Mount Kenya. And remember, when he came up with this rally that he had this weekend, President earlier invited members of parliament, the opinion shapers, or the people from Muranga, whereby quite a number of notable leaders were missing. Quite a number of leaders were missing. So, and Rigathi Gachagua decided to have like a one-on-one conversation with them by having these meetings, you know. So what Rigathi is doing, even by declaring his candidature for 2027, he knows very well that he cannot run. That is something that Rigathi Gachagua knows. But like, to keep the momentum running, so he has to, because he has a very he has a very battle to fight, especially to be very relevant, because like president also is not giving him a chance. Look at the strategies that president has employed, you know, inviting people to State House. So president does not go and meet people on the street, just inviting people to State House, talk with them, maybe they get a small token, and that one plays a lot. President also using Professor Kithure Kindiki. We have people like Kimani Chungwa going around. So he has to maintain that. So he cannot take that leaf not to campaign. If he does, then the influence of president will overtake him in central Kenya. That is what I think.
Now you understand what I'm telling you is true, because you have said that the president is not resting. He's using all his efforts to ensure that he thrives day by day. This is just 2025. Now, what about next year? Next year now, from 2026 January to December, it will be non-stop. So if right now you can't see people like Kalonzo coming out to even try to have church meetings, next year they will disappear. And that's how they usually disappear until now. Raila ends up to be the man to be watched.
And you know, Miguda, there's something that we always said here, but I think like maybe we were wrong in our analysis, that president made a mistake to impeach Rigathi Gachagua. I'm now tending to think like president did not make a mistake to impeach Rigathi Gachagua. Do you know why I'm saying so? Because president did it so early, and this one has given president opportunity to come up with strategy to contain Rigathi Gachagua. let's take, for example, if President could have impeached Rigathi Gachagua maybe 6 months to the general election, that could have been the worst moment. If ever since Rigathi Gachagua has been impeached by the president, he has given the president nightmare. But look at a situation whereby this was done within 6 months to the general election, or maybe a year, or maybe 8 months to the general election. It could have been very hard for president to contain Rigathi Gachagua. But now with the space that is left, president has tried all his cards. Remember, he started by even procuring the services of remember Maina Jenga. There was a time Maina Jenga came and even invaded the meeting that was being organized. That was organized by the Mama Boys. Remember, and he took over that meeting. Remember appointment of Mwangi Wairia and all that. Remember the appointment of people like Kabogo. Remember, president went and launched even the pipes, for Mount Kenya. And during the time when president was touring Mount Kenya for that project, president did not talk about Ukabila. He shied away from talking about the politics of tribal, and bringing in the Right Honorable Prime Minister Raila Odinga to assist and working with ODM. So it tells you the effort that president has put in place just to make sure that Rigathi is kept out. So I think president saw it wise to impeach Rigathi early enough to make him to come with strategy. By the time they will be going to the election, he shall have at least edged Rigathi Gachagua or get a half or quite chunk of votes from Mount Kenya. That is what I think. I might be wrong.
When it's come to timing, I think if that was the intent from the president, then it was a good time. Because from next year, I can promise you, from January, you will not even meet those people. It will be like everyday campaign. Ile mbio iko inakimbizwa. So I think if a matter of time, it's good because he's now able to, like I've said yesterday, managing him is being, because Gachagua is someone who is also not a joke. He's not easy to be managed. So if he can be given that time to manage, I think it's better, because Gacha can even, like until Gacha can decide to miss in action for 1 month. Then when he will come back, we'll already have a strategy on how to counter you. What he did to Ruto, when he was impeached, he went back to Amnyoro. Then all of a sudden, he woke up, very dangerous man, having a field day until he went to America. Then things happen now. I think you need to go back and also have go back to the drawing board. And I also am seeing this scenario whereby I think there are people who are so waiting for this budget of 2025-2026 to be effective next year, June.
Yeah.
So once we are done with the 2025-2026 budget, and we realize that the allocations were just hot hairs, then you see now people are voting out of that progress government. That's why I've realized.
Miguda, you see what is happening. President will do everything possible within his power to remain relevant in the Kenyan politics, I tell you. And if you look at right now, the strategy that the president is employing, is a strategy that looking at getting as many votes, especially to areas that he feels might replace the junk of Mount Kenya, the junk of it. For instance, look at what is happening in Luo Nyanza. Let's start with Kisii. You see what happened in Kisii. What happened? He invited the leaders from Kisii, and when they invited these leaders, Raila accompanied the Kisii leaders. Remember, this was a Kisii region, but Raila was there. Tell me of any region even invited the people who have been invited, even people of Sia who were invited, the hometown of Raila Odinga. Raila did not attend that meeting in the State House. He did not avail himself. But now this is Kisii. So even though for Kisii they would say that it is a development, but one, it was a way to clip Matiang'i's influence. So that is a strategy that he has used again.
The issue of Kisii, can be played
yeah.
two-way traffic, because Arati also is very careful that it must be accompanied by Baba, so that when you go back to the Gusii people, you can't say Raila can bolt out. So if in case Raila bolt out, Arati will say, mimi si kwenda peke yangu, tulikuwa na Baba. Mimi si kama wengine walienda peke yao. Me, I was with Baba, so you can't crucify me that I went to set out, but I was come by Baba. So I think that was can play to Arati's side, that he went with Baba, significantly that he can go back to the people of Kisii and say, okay, me, I followed what my party leader said, because I'm in ODM and we make a decision to work with Ruto, and me, I was accompanied with my party leader. So that one, the way you are saying Gachagwa's waivers decline, it's the same way Matiangi's waivers also decline. This is not the Matiangi whom we used to call when we were protesting the Gen Z protest. When people say, bring Matiangi, come back, the pressure that make him to resign at the World Bank is not right now on the political sphere.
I agree with you, and that's why sometimes, like when you see, especially Rigathi Gachagua, when he gets the podium, he declares himself for the presidential candidate, because the opposition, his partner in opposition, are not doing much. Yeah, because remember, Rigathi is trying very well to make sure that he solidifies his political base, so that he come into negotiation, and all these rallies that is having working hard. Now remember, you are coming to a negotiating table with your partners who have not done well, especially in terms of going out to make sure they have that connectivity with their fan base, and now you want to say that now I want to give you the presidential bid, yet you've not shown any interest, or you've not shown us how powerful you are, or you can run it, because campaigns are not very easy. But at the same time, you also have to look at Rigathi Gachagua also is trying very hard, first of all, fighting two wars. One, you want to maintain the Mount Kenya base. Secondly, you also want to make sure that you erase the influence completely of President William Ruto from Mount Kenya. So one of the pressures is, how can I keep off Ruto from Mount Kenya, knowing very well that the strategies that President William Ruto has employed. Secondly, also, how am I going to make sure that I remain relevant among my partners? So those two wars, that is the things that he's fighting, and he will have to lose one, because you cannot win them both.
So he either chase a route away from Mount Kenya completely, or remain relevant to the support base.
No, so this is, to me, this is what I would say, especially for the deputy, because one, he knows very well that sometimes he might not run for presidency. That is something that he knows, and even his partners knows very well that as they are working in the united opposition, when they're looking at their chances of Rigathi being a flag bearer, it's very minimal. That is one. Two, talking about the sellability and the believability in Rigathi Gachagua with the kind of politics that he plays. When you look at the country as a whole, what is the sellability when you take out Mount Kenya? What is the Rigathi sellability in the major counties, or believability? That is something that also you have to look at. Then again, you also have to look at the aspects of money is okay, but now the sellability, acceptability, when you take off Mount Kenya, how do you see Rigathi Gachagua?
Before I respond to your question, first, Bro Benson, what happens in politics? When Uhuru Kenyatta and Ruto were charged with crimes against humanity at ICC, they were not supposed to run for the presidency jointly.
Yes.
But the reason why they ended up running for presidency because the people, the command base, Uhuru had the Mount Kenya by his side, Uhuru had the Rift Valley by his side. The people who are supporting you can make you run. And let me tell you, if today we end up at the IBC clearance, whereby you are being cleared with academic certificates, maybe you don't have any academic certificate, maybe you are a class 8 or form 4 dropout.
Yeah.
But if you have the people, almost maybe 8 million Kenyans behind you, my friend, you will be cleared and you will run for the presidency. So what Gachagua is doing right now is trying to get these people that once I can get the backup from on Kenya, there's no day I will be stopped from running, even if there's issue of impeachment. And that's what is working tirelessly to make sure that he must get the people who are even ready to demonstrate for him.
But if you look at that, which I agree with you, I'm not disagreeing with you, but look at how he's when you look at the entire country, because and you have to look at why is he loved? For instance, why is it loved? Is it loved because he's hammering President William Ruto, or is loved because people see him as somebody who can change the system and bring development, or can bring development? What are the pointing that people are looking at and say that the reason why we might vote him in is maybe one is hammering Ruto so much in terms of politics, his comebacks for the president, is good and makes people, happy. Two, he has very good idea, or he has exhibited good leadership skills. What do you think like people might look for, especially when they are going? I'm not saying that he cannot, he will, and he can, because like everything is possible in politicians. But what do you think can be driving force towards people now going to vote Rigathi Gachagua?
What I'm seeing, Gachagua, Gachagua ought to have been a good person from the word go. If Gachagua could have been in the government, and by the time he was being shortchanged earlier, they started shortchanging him earlier. He ought to have come out and started saying these things earlier. Kwamba, there's something going on in this government. So people could have trusted him. He has been an MP. He has not been in the political sphere for very long. So people could say, oh, this is the right man. But now he's waiting until he's out, now speaking. That one, you raise a lot of questions. Kwa nini ulinyamaza? So kama ungekuwa impeached, tungekuwa kwa giza. So to me, I can say, Gachagua is not easy to persuade even me that I'll vote for him as an alternative to Ruto. That one I cannot, because I'm seeing that maybe if you vote for Gachagua, it's just like you are punishing Ruto. Because you impeach Gachagua, now you be one term, you can feel what Gachagua is feeling. But is there anything that can be traced that if you let Gachagua, it's going to transform our economy? I don't see. And also, Gachagua is telling us that Wakenya wanataka nikue rais. No, it's like he's now trying to rebrand himself. And also he said that sisi tukichukua payslip, we will bring dignity to the payslip. So he's just trying to make it look like now he's having agenda, and also he means well for the Kenyan people. But that is not the case. So to me, I can just say, if Gachagua find himself to be the presidential candidate, he's just going there to ensure that he frustrates William Ruto or in election, and if by any unlikely event is elected, he selects the President of the Republic of Kenya, I think Gachagua will just do the exact opposite to his boss. Let me tell you one thing. When to this extent, I want to give Raila Odinga credit. Raila Odinga usually don't frustrate his opponents, and even within ODM, he might just deny you that chance to have a party ticket, but he will let you go. He will not frustrate to that extent, like what he has done to other people. The only person he frustrated was Miguna, but Miguna, you understand, the state was having a hand in it. By the time Matiang'i was the CS for internal security, also the Ruto was the deputy president, so maybe the state also had to
ensure that the forcefully, and Raila also was part of the system of the game. So Uhuru Kenyatta had an opportunity to deal with Ruto, but Uhuru Kenyatta never impeached him, never put him under house arrest, never destroyed his properties. He was allowed to campaign. He was elected. They hand over power to him in a diplomatic manner. That's how it should be. When Gachagua had opportunity to deal with Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila jointly, Gachagua, though he was saying he was getting stuff from William Ruto, but he ought to say no, because you remember when people were demonstrating at those sides of his land of Feather, Raila's vehicle was shot like 7 bullets. So when he had opportunity, he used to wake up in the morning at dawn hour, going to counter demonstrators. And it was very clear that we will finish with this Raila once and for all. And Uhuru Kenyatta was so frustrated to understand that the withdrawal of the security and so on and so forth. So right now, Ruto had opportunity to deal with Gachagua. That's why I was saying Gachagua cannot be arrested, because once he has been impeached, that is enough to punish your opponent. Why do you impeach somebody? Then after impeaching him, then you want to arrest him, put him under house arrest. Then also, after doing all those sorts of nonsense, then you deny him chance to run. Gachagua can be led to run, so as a way that once you have hit your opponent, allow him to breathe. You don't make sure that you kill him. So Gachagua, in unlikely event he's elected the president of Kenya, what I know, Gachagua can do the exact opposite. He will deal with his opponents ruthlessly. He will even put them under house arrest. I can tell you. And anything you steal from the public coffers. That's why. Let me tell you, Brother Benson, these things. If you can get a chance to be the president, you can. Anyway, that's just my opinion. I don't think that is it can be correct or it can be wrong.
No, I don't think so. I think he is, despite the fact that he talks like that. I think like there's some civility in him. I don't think like he cannot go that way. But you never know. Politics has his own way. Maybe he can enforce the rule of law. If you enforce, because we've seen this one happening with some leaders, especially when new administration come into to place and say that, okay, we will follow the rule of law. So if you are found outside the law, you committed something that you obstructed, or you committed something outside the law, then that one you can pay. But I don't think it cannot be personal like that. Or maybe they can use the justice system, because that's what most the politicians do. Once they get into power, they tend to use the justice system to punish the people who might have done wrong to them, with reviving of some cases that happened even 10 years ago. Inaletwa sasa unasema hii ulikuwa aje, you revisit those cases, so it is possible again. And Laban has not answered me, because I think issue that is happening in Kakamega, especially within Oparanya and Baraza, I don't think it looked good for ODM. And Laban amepotea, he has not answered that question. He's talking about Boni Alwale now, but when you look at it critically, if Oparanya decide to call it quit, especially in or the campaign ODM in Kakamega, I don't think Baba will get it. The ODM will be in a crisis, because remember, as ODM right now stand, there's so many questions that people are asking, especially with them working with the government. It's a big question. That's why I was telling Laban Migoda that the other time Tifa did their polls, and like they were saying, the broad-based government is not very popular from Tifa polls, So broad-based might only be popular for those who are benefiting from it, but like it's something that majority of Kenyans are questioning. So I would want to get to know about the Barazas, not Barazas, but Laban's view, especially on what is happening in Kakamega. I don't think it's good for ODM. Or Miguda, what do you think? Yeah, I don't think is working for ODM, especially in Kakamega, when Oparanya and Baraza, it's not working well.
I think it is a ugly scene in the party, because, but what I understand is that when people went for the elections for the party in ODM across the country, there is an issue of delegate whereby you must, because you don't know ODM can decide one day that elections primaries are going to be held by delegates. So if the delegates are not your people, it means that they cannot elect. That's why many people are fighting to have the delegates whom they are well known to. I think that could be raising issue because of the chairperson of the county and other delegates. If there are people who are not pro Baraza, might also interfere in the nomination. That could be the reason why they are now fighting.
Or Baraza is also scared that if he doesn't get the chairmanship coming next general election, because if you are the chair, you are in charge of election in that area, right? Yes. So
if you are the chair, you are in charge of election in that region, and also you can influence the nomination certificates for the MCAs. And MCAs are the ones who have the duty to impeach governor. So you can decide on whom you are going to give certificate for the MCA who can never impeach you.
So which means the wrangles that are taking place, especially in Kakamega, it's more of 2027 general election and the nomination that is coming. I don't think it is about the party leadership and what. It is about the interest, and maybe the people who feel, especially those who are allied to Baraza, maybe they feel in 2027 with the Paranya being in control, might make sure that the people who are allied to them, to the Baraza side, might not get the certificate, and that one will be make Baraza, if he wins, a weaker governor, because you can be impeached anytime. Secondly, also Baraza is looking at it this way: if Baraza does not, if Oparanya controls, especially the people who are in charge of elections, so it means even him, Baraza, can miss out on the ticket of ODM. He can lose during the nomination. So I feel, for me, I'm not advocating for ODM, but I'm looking at it politically for ODM, especially in Kakamega. The war between Baraza and CS Oparanya does not put the ODM in a good picture, especially. Makobura, how are you doing, sir?
Good evening. I don't know whether I'm clear enough.
You are clear, brother.
Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you so much. I'm doing good. I thank God. I'm saying hi to you and hi to Megoda, hi to a good friend Gypsy Corner, hi to Laban Misiani,
Yes.
hi to Judith Karitha, hi to Brenda Obedi, and to everyone who is watching us.
Okay.
Yes, so maybe if I start by giving my comment on what you were just speaking about, the issue of CS Ombetsa Oparanya and the governor of Kakamega. I think the fear that the governor is having is that if you remember before the experts were brought in, the current governor had a problem with Ombetsa Oparanya. And remember, Ombetsa Oparanya united together with the bullfighter, who is the current senator, Dr. Boni Alwale. And at one point, they agreed that in the coming general election, they will support Dr. Boni Kalwale. And some of the procedures they had started coming up with were to invite Dr. Boni Alwale to join ODM so that they would assist him in getting the position of governor in Kakamega. But what I can say is that, it's the governor Fernandez Baraza is simply trying to protect himself because he knows very well. Of course, the constitution is clear that the cabinet secretaries are not supposed to get involved in the local politics. They're not supposed to take consistent political. They're not supposed to be giving consistent political statements. And for that reason, Baraza is right, trying to come up or trying to tell the cabinet secretary that he should stop meddling in the politics, the local politics. Of course, it's a way of protecting himself. I think that's what I can say. Unless you are muted.
If well, or you look at the politics of Kakamega, especially for ODM, Oparanya has played a pivotal role, especially to make sure that ODM stays strong in Kakamega. He delivered, especially the win for governor and the win for members of parliament. Yeah, and even Baraza himself, Oparanya really supported him. But why is it that now they are having this back and forth misunderstanding between them? Yet ODM is one party, and there are mechanisms in which they can do it, not in public, but through the relevant organs of the party.
Politics has a lot, and if you are an immediate governor, then there is always possibilities that sometimes you'd still want to get involved into the running of, the governance affairs of a certain county. Remember, Ambedkar Oparanya is the immediate governor of Kakamega, and for that reason, he has been the leader of ODM, and not just the leader of ODM, the deputy party leader of ODM. And there has been quite a number of accusations some few years back, where it was being said that Governor Baraza is not doing well in terms of management of the resources as the CEO of the county government of Kakamega. And not just that, on matters of politics, remember, Fernandez Baraza is not really a mayor. Do we say politician? He's someone who was in a profession, in corporate. And
actually, was
just the other day, he got it. Yeah, he's been in corporate, and so the issues to do with politics, so much we might say that he's not really well conversant. If we compare him with somebody like Boni Khalwale, who has been in politics for years and years, and he understands very well how the politics of the Republic of Kenya are played. And not just that, he has always been in government. He has held quite a number of positions in the Republic of Kenya. And so politically, I think the cabinet secretary thought that they were not getting into the right position in terms of whether they're still going to take the position of governorship in Kakamega. And I think that might be part of the reason why he thought it wise that they have to think and come up with a way in which coming 2027 they will be at a point when the candidate will not lose that particular position in Kakamega. But again, politics again is a matter of negotiations. It is a matter of discussions, and it seems because before we saw this kind of differences, we used to see the senator was close with the former governor, and it could be that they came up with a deal that might then have given him reasons to start making it tough for the governor to operate. But again, it is all about the former CS meddling on the county affairs, and maybe the governor has noticed and is aware that it might not be okay if he does not come up with a way of going to defend himself. I think that is what I can say on that.
Okay, thank you so much. And like Laban is here. The question that I wanted to ask Laban on the face value of the party, especially right now when sitting governor is having back and forth with the CS. And if we look at the history of the CS in ODM, outweighs that one of the governor. And even the governor, for him to be that governor, he was supported by the Oparanya, because people believed in Oparanya. So on your own analysis, Mr. Laban, a good ambassador of ODM, do you feel this puts the party especially on a good footnote at this particular time, especially with the ones also we are seeing, the Edwin Sifunas and the Junet and Wanga? Mr. Laban, if you can share with us. Okay, Makobura, and maybe I want to also to get your view, especially on what is happening. I think yesterday you watched what happened between the SG of ODM, Joho, and Wanga, Junet, where all of them were supporting the deal of President William Ruto and the Right Honorable Prime Minister until 2027. And Sifuna insisted that mimi sijui mambo ya Ruto, how, and again, it is also ODM. What does it tell you about ODM right now? The crises and all back and forth about the party. Is this one weakening it further, or this is strengthening the party?
Me, what I can say, ODM party as a party is one of the, I don't know whether to say the cheekiest, because I think they're using a tactic that is not very well known. And okay. Yeah, so I think ODM is using a tactic that is not very well known to the people. And one thing that I keep asking myself is, why would Sifuna be appearing on certain meetings, and in some meetings he's not appearing? And then that brings me to this. Whenever he appears, he has always spoken on behalf of the party. He has spoken positive things that are all geared towards expanding ODM.
Yeah.
And then at some point he comes up and then says some negative things, and then you ask yourself, if you are a supporter of ODM or a supporter of the government, or if you are someone who is in between, you do not really know whether to support the government or to maintain being opposition. They are simply confusing people. But I think this is a smart way, because if you look at the members of parliament who are on the side, I don't know whether to call them the young members of parliament, the likes of Honorable Kibagendi, Babu Owino, Sifuna, and the rest. They are members of ODM, and you've seen them coming up with certain specific stance and saying that they are not supporting the government, they are not going to support the president. On the other hand, they are still sometimes attending these ODM meetings and giving certain comments which are not really very straight. I think Edwin Sifuna, as the Secretary General of ODM, is being used together with his team. I think that is what I can say, because if they are not being used, then they need to come out and clarify to the people that we are no longer part of ODM. We are not subscribing to ODM, because their issues. The issues that they've always raised is they are not going to support the president, and if ODM is going to support the president and his dealings, then they are out. I think ODM, through the party leader, has always made that particular statement that they are in government, they are going to support the government, and they are working with the government. I think that should be enough for those people having a divergent opinion to come out and resign and leave the party. We've not seen them do so, but we've seen them consistently attending their meetings. That is a clear indication that they're being used to confuse the people. They're being used to contain those people who feel like they do not really want to support the government, so that you are torn on whether to wait. You wait for ODM to make their comments, or you wait for, that is the game that is being played. But I can say that those people who are currently cabinet secretaries, the likes of Honorable Joho, Metsa Oparanya, the CS in, John Badi, there is the energy cabinet secretary, Opia Wandai, all of them, I'm quite sure that they are going to support the government by all they can, together with their support, together with everything they have. Because one, even if they get out of this government and they support somebody else, there's a probability that that person might not get the opportunity, and they might not be given the opportunities that they're currently holding. So I think in their thinking, they're saying that we better trade with what we already have,
Yeah.
and going somewhere where we do not really know what outcome we are going to get. And I'm sure that they are not going to leave the government. They are going to insist and force those within ODM to support the government.
Okay, thank you. But when you see all these wrangles that taking place, especially in ODM, is this one telling about the leadership of the Right Honorable Prime Minister has become so weaker, or this shows that there's expand, or there's a space that is they have what we call a democratic space? It is a democratic space, or it shows weaker leadership?
ODM has always boasted of being a democratic and party, but I think most of the experiences we've had, that has been a lie, because not once but several times we've always seen quite a number of leaders, whenever they have different opinion or they do not align to what the party leader said, they've always been kicked out. Some of them have been kicked out the same day they gave those comments. They've been kicked out. They are, they can even be called at night if you don't respond. You can, in ODM, if you're called at night some years back and you don't respond to that call, maybe that call was a way of you giving an explanation where you made certain comments. If you don't answer that call, it would just be a typical sign that you're already out. And that is so of late we are seeing Raila and his team talking about democracy. So I don't know whether we should buy it, but one thing I know, there's nothing like democracy in matters of in the current environment where we live and with the political parties that we have. I think the party has restrained itself from punishing people because they are afraid of the outcome. Remember the likes of the Senator of Kisii, Onyonka, who was not once but several times indicated that he's going to support Fred Okengo Matiang'i. And we've not had him being taken to any disciplinary committee. We've not had him being questioned, and he's still serving. And at one point, I remember he was being interviewed and he said that there's some sense of democracy for the first time in ODM. One that he himself was saying that he does not even understand where it's coming. But I think it's a sign of there's some fear on what might happen next, because if you try punish one person, you might end up losing the all junior or young members of parliament, and you'll see a lot of defiance, and that of course would give people who are thinking of leaving a chance to go and form their own political parties and start speaking against you.
Okay. Now, when you look at what is happening, does it mean that there's that jitters, especially from ODM? They are in the panic mode, knowing very well that if you look at Raila right now, to be very sincere, in terms of the age is not with him. Even you've seen him walking, and also the energy to campaign is not there. So there's this jitters that if he exit right now or next year, even if they are supporting the UDA, or they support the Kenya Kwanza, there's this exit, kind of like Raila exiting, is also might be the cause of what is happening, because now everybody wants to get into leadership, or everybody wants to control the ODM, because they know for a fact they are seeing the Raila age-wise, he cannot, the energy has gone down. So each and every person is trying to get that into leadership, and this is what is causing all this disagreement and fighting in the public.
Okay, I don't know whether you've ever heard the story of the king of the jungle, that is the lion. The lion has always been the king of the jungle, even within within the lion, what? How is it called? A herd of lion. What is it called? I'm forgetting. Within a community of lions, there is always one of the male lion is always a king. And sometimes among the children, or among its children, among its cubs, normally you'll find that when the old or the king is almost coming to his time is coming to an end, first you will see the young ones or his cubs trying to fight him so that they see who has the power. And I would equate what is happening to ODM to the story of the jungle, where we saw quite a number of young people, not just young people, politicians coming out to say that they're interested in the particular, in the kingpinship of ODM, or the leadership of ODM. And then along the way, the king seemed to have gained some little power, and it came back. And when it came back, all the sons walichukua mkia, inaitwa mkia, wakafanya aje sijui, utawaeleza vizuri. Ni kama ukiwaona umbwa hizi
walikunja mkia, kuikunja,
wakakunja. Yeah, I think that's the right explanation. Wakakunja na sasa wameshindwa wajitokeze waendeleze ama bado. But one thing they are sure of, that the king is almost leaving the stage, and they are trying to set themselves ready. They're trying to maintain the energy, and that is why you are seeing a lot of defiance. A defiance to an extent that Secretary General of ODM, if you know ODM and ODM, if you understand what ODM is, if you see a Secretary General having a different conversation or a different stand with what the party leader is saying, then it is clear that the king's time is coming to an end, and people are trying to strategically take positions so that whoever will be fast on convincing, or will be fast to fight for that position, would then take the position.
Okay, asante sana. Kama we ni mfuatiliaji ya habari sana sana, ukienda pale nchini Tanzania, wafuasi wa Chadema leo walalamika sana kuwapigwa na mapolisi, kwa sababu Tundu Lissu alikuwa na kesi yake pale katika koti na walienda kushuhudia ama kusikiza kesi, lakini walikumbana na mapolisi wakachapwa. Na maybe Makubura, to ask you, because like Fernande Baraza, the governor for Kakamega, was calling the president to call Oparanya on order. Do you think maybe Oparanya is doing this deliberately so that he can be sacked from the ministry, then lead a revolt, knowing very well that now the Western Kenya are trying to use their numerical power to bargain well in government? Because remember, when ODM, especially the Azimio, when they were running in 2022, there are those pre-cabinets that they named. Actually, Oparanya was supposed to be given the CS for treasury, and when the opportunity came, he was given cooperative. And even Barasa was saying that Oparanya is using the MPs to lobby for that CS. Do you think he's doing that to be sacked, or to also to destabilize maybe ODM, as per what Baraza is saying? Because like to show dissatisfaction that this is what you promised me, but you gave me something otherwise. So I want to take back my share, especially to control the Kakamega.
I think I would have two angles on that. One, it could be one. I think I'll first go with the one that I was explaining.
Yeah,
I said that Fernandez Barada is is not really a typical politician, and he has always, he is not even his deputy. You remember Savula, his deputy. Politically, in terms of politics and speaking political language, his deputy is more vibrant than him. But again, ODM is the party that is dominant in the Kakamega.
Yeah.
And apparently, from my understanding, there was a disagreement between the governor of Kakamega. This is not the first time. He has always come out to comment or to tell the cabinet secretary to stay away. And if you can remember keenly, before the nomination, these cabinet secretaries were brought forth, the experts. There was already a campaign, I can say a campaign mode in Kakamega, where Dr. Boni Alwale was actually invited and they moved around the county together with the current cabinet secretary, and they are called then. You remember they even held a press.
Yeah.
And Ambetsa Paranya said very clear that going forward they're going to work with Boni Halwale and they will ensure that he wins the governorship of 2027.
Yeah.
That was slowed down when Oparanya was elected as, appointed as a cabinet secretary. And that, of course, slowed down the politics of Kakamega. But again, it is now coming back because Fernandez is seeing the reality that what was happening before is still continuing.
Yeah.
And if he will not come out to speak about it, then it might swallow him. The force might swallow him. And that is the threat that he has shown. Remember the other day they were fighting for the chairmanship of the county, and Oparanya was saying that, the Fernandez was saying that he didn't believe. There were consistent campaigns, but when he was elected as the chairman of that ODM, remember what he said, that he's going to ensure that ODM remains stable and all those kind of things. He was actually speaking against naysayers or those people who had the mentality that he was not capable of even maintaining his second term.
Yeah.
But again, he managed, and now that he's been given a position in ODM, he's still seeing that he's not stable. And so he's trying to call the cabinet secretary in order, and of course trying to raise it through the president or through Raila Amolo Odinga, because he knows very well that those are the only people who might come out to assist him in reducing the tone. Something else that Fernandez understands is that currently the only people that, if Ruto was in the government and Raila was in opposition, the only way he would survive this, he would move to Ruto's camp. That is camp 2027. But now that Raila and Ruto are all combined, there is no any other option. He knows very well that it is not going to be easy for the people of opposition to get the opportunity of leading camp 2027. And for that reason, he's simply preparing himself based on what is on the table.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, Makobura, and thank you so much for coming. I know it was brief, and maybe I hope you're organizing for the second show that would be coming at around 10. I don't know how your program is, but thank you so much. And I know tomorrow we will have a discussion with you. And our project that was supposed to take place in October is still on, but now we will not go with the crowd. We will just because there's that directive that has come from the ministry, Makobura, that they do not want any large group meetings or larger population crowd meeting in the school. So I hope me, Makobura, and Miguda, we will go there by ourselves with a few people for a few minutes. So, and we will try our level best to make sure that we capture the videos and maybe download it here, as we will be doing that as we speak right now. We have almost like around 120 ring papers, which we've done well, because it has that one will take us for almost like a year for that school, and that one will be good for the school and for the community. Makobura, maybe you can continue as I sort out some issue here. Maybe if you have something to talk about, I will appreciate.
Okay, thank you. Maybe I finish my comments on what I was saying about my second thinking of what is happening in in Kakamega. I think Kakamega is in the western part of the Republic of Kenya, and most of times we've always seen, or we've always had ODM has always dominated the western part politics, and not once but several times we've seen ODM getting the majority of positions, be it be it in the department. I mean, in member of, be it MP's position, or not just that. Even if we compare the number of governors that ODM has always gotten in that region, it is one that is more compared to the dominant or the local political parties. You remember the ANC has operated in that particular region of Western for quite a number of time, but it has never been embraced by the people of Western. Ford Kenya has been there for years and years. It has never been embraced by the people of Western. And currently, not so many years ago, DAP then came, and DAP also has not been really embraced by majority of the people of Kenya. So I think what is happening is that ODM might as well be losing its ground, and it might be losing its ground based on the recent decisions that they made of assisting or working with the government, because there are a majority of people who believe that that was the worst mistake ever done by the ODM party. But again, ODM has several times they've came out and clarified that they do not. They've given reasons why they joined to assist the government. But again, on the other side, the government led by the president, that is the UDA, seems to have gotten some serious support or life-saving support from ODM. For that reason, quite a number of goodies has been taken to the floor or to the doors of ODM. Of course, starting with the experts, and not just that, quite a number of development in their areas. And that is just a sign or a strategy that is being used by ODM to ensure that they are not left behind or they are not left alone without ODM. They know that ODM has brought much in terms of stabilizing the government of UDA, in terms of cooling down the political temperatures, cooling down the consistent demonstration that we've seen in the entire country. And, UDA would not really, they would do what they can, they would do what they're able to do to ensure that ODM will not leave them. And that is why we've always seen them treat those within ODM with special treatment. They've been given special treatment because they're giving them all the reason why they need to partner and maybe work together. On the other hand, quite a number of parties that associated themselves with ODM, those parties which were in the Azimio, they are not, they're proceeding with their belief that the president and the UDA is not fit to continue ruling the country. And that is why they've joined what we call opposition, united opposition. And them on the other side, they're also giving reasons why they think that the government, the UDA together with ODM are not fit. And of course, name calling and all those kind of things are part of what we've seen. And of course, Wiper Party, among the biggest political parties that were in Azimio, are coming out to look like the biggest party within the opposition. But remember, the DCP was just launched the other day. It has not really gotten even a member of parliament or an MCA. For that reason, you can't say that Wiper is the biggest party in the opposition side. They're also coming up and giving their reasons why they need to be given a chance in the coming general election. They're also reminding the people who believes, reminding the people that this government, the current government, is not able to perform their duties. And that is politics. And again, the good thing is that the Constitution of the Republic of Kenya gives all the people of Kenya an opportunity to make the right decision based on what they think, based on the things that they interact with on a daily basis. And so my advice is people need to vote with a lot of care, with a lot of, after thinking well and making the right decisions, so that we don't end up with the leaders who are not able to run the country, leaders who are not able to distinguish between what leadership is all about, leaders who are not able to solve the problems or the challenges that are being faced by the people of Kenya. Yeah, so currently we do have people saying 2-term and 1-term, and there is also a group that is silent. They're waiting to make their last move based on the kind of candidates that would be presented before them in the coming general election. Yeah, I think those are my last remarks, and I would now want to take this opportunity to appreciate everyone who joined us this evening, and to remind you that this is Brother Benson Media, and here we say that your opinion counts. If you're new to this channel, kindly like and subscribe to the channel. It is a way of supporting us, na sisi hapa tutasema ni asante. Allow me to wish you all a blessed night, a blessed morning, a blessed afternoon, a blessed evening from wherever you're watching us from. I can see our good friend Miguda is back. Miguda, I was almost leaving. Can you hear me?
You are leaving. I'm back. I'm back. You are leaving and I'm back.
Okay, yeah. So maybe I was not here when you guys had started. When you guys started the show, so I've only given my take on the Kakamega, the comments of the governor of Kakamega, and his thinking about the cabinet secretary, Ambetsa Paranya. I don't know if you can take me through the other topics that you talked about so that I can also give my views.
You can also give your view concerning the ODM celebration, and also you give your opinion based on what Sifuna said that is about celebration. But Junet, Mohammed, and Wanga were insisting that that is Junet's opinion. With them, they are in broad-based government to stay. So you can give your opinion on that one. Then I'll also let you know another thing.
Okay, I did give my comments, but allow me to add quite a few. Junet Mohammed is one of the right-hand man of Raila Amolo Odinga. Gladys Wanga is as well. It's a very good right-hand person of Raila Amolo Odinga. And not once, but several times, we've always seen mostly those members of parliament or leaders from the Nyanza region criticizing Sifuna for his comments and his stance. But again, maybe if I dwell on the comments of Sifuna calling everyone to come and celebrate ODM as it marks its 20th year, I think it is a good sign, because remember, political parties are not really private entities. They're not private business or whatever. But of course, we can admit that in Kenya, they've been operated as private entities, where instructions come from the CEO or the MD and translated to the junior leaders. That is how ODM has always operated. But if they are saying that people should come and celebrate with them, it is a good thing, because from my understanding, if you've been keen and following the politics of the world, in these big democracies, we've always seen that whenever a certain political party is celebrating their, for maybe birthday or the years that they've operated, even leaders from other political parties do come and join them in that celebration. And that is a sign of maturity in matters of leadership and in matters of politics. So I would also give my thought that it is right, it is good for people to always celebrate certain things, whether you are from that particular party or not. If you find time, you can always join them and celebrate with them, because as much as people are having different thinking or different views, sometimes, truth be told, as much as people do have different political stance, sometimes the political parties which have been around, some of them are done quite good. Some of them have come up with some positive some positive thinking or decisions which have helped the country in one way or another. So such things needs to be celebrated. Well, it is also true that some parties have also not made the right decisions. If you get the opportunity as well, you have to also come out and, of course, give your views or give your thoughts. Yeah, so I think that is what I can say. On the other side, the issue of Sifuna, I had given my comment. Maybe any other.
Talked about the issue whereby Gachagua has been contained or has been managed successfully because when he was impeached, he was very popular and he was having a field day. Right now, after he went to US now, he's not having a field day. But we are saying if he's allowed to run, and also if he's running, and right now he has taken the opposition mantle whereby other people are not seen, they're not in action. But William Ruto is busy in State House, is busy with the Farouk Kibet team, empowerment team, also trying to all sorts of things to make it look like. So in a scenario whereby he's left with two options, should he kick William Ruto out of Mount Kenya completely, or should he be popular, or should he be the only candidate for opposition? So look at basic argument on those scenarios.
Okay, first, my thoughts regarding Gachagua should not run for presidency because if he does so, there are a group of people that would not really support that. Because remember, Rigathi Gachagua was impeached, and the impeachment process, as much as it was over, there are quite a number of cases that are still pending on court that needs to be. I mean, the courts needs to clear or to come clear and give full details of the finalities of those particular cases. I would advise, if I'm made to advise Rigathi Gachagua, that he should stand behind and support someone for presidency. If he goes it alone as the candidate, I can categorically say here that he's not going to get that massive support as compared to if he supports someone for that particular seat. Yes, he might be popular, he might be loved, but the thinking out here is he should not be given the opportunity to run as the president. There is much that has always been directed to him, some negative thoughts, and again, you remember he's been labeled as tribal. And one thing I can say that all our politicians are tribal. Him being labeled as tribal has been taken to another level, and that might not really give him a good national view or a good national outlook. But of course, he has what it takes. He's a politician. I think he has what it takes to become the president. But one thing I can say is not going to. He does not. The society cannot give him a chance at this particular time based on the many issues that have been raised by the people and the tag that is being given. I can say that if he supports some of those politicians within the opposition, they might succeed. But politics is about arithmetics. If I was given opportunity to advise those in the opposition, there's around 2 or 3 people there that if they are combined, I can tell you opposition can take that 2027 general election as early as 8. The only problem we have is the level of greed, the level of negativity, where some people are being labeled as newcomers, some people are being labeled as not having the resources, some people are being labeled as not having money, and those are the things that might make the opposition not win the 2027 general election. From where I sit, there's a team that if they're given the opportunity as the president deputy, I'm telling you that team will win. But with this kind of confusion that we are seeing between Gachagua, Kalonzo, and their team, I think they are wasting time on that, and they should not really focus on that. They need, if truly they care about getting the positions of presidency, then they have to come out and do a lot of sacrifice and give it to people there. I'll not give their names, but people within that opposition that if they are given an opportunity, they will do well in matters of trust. The people would trust them easily. But if Rigathi Gachagua is going for presidency, I don't think that would work. I don't think the people, majority of people would support that. I don't think so. And he needs to sit back and maybe give instruction. I mean, whether it's financial or it's political support that he can give. But him coming on the limelight, I don't think he can get the presidency, because the thinking out there, if you tell somebody that Rigathi Gachagua is going to be president, there's much that they think about. So the only thing he can do is to play it smart, continue being on the backstage, plan and assist them in making the right political decisions, but he should not be seen as the limelight as the presidential candidate. If he does that, then I can tell you he'll not get the support of the people. What else did you ask on that particular statement? That his popularity is reducing. I can't really say his popularity is reducing because he's not been as consistent as the way he used to be consistent before he went to the United States of America. So I think we should just give them time, because at this particular time we are not even yet at we've not gotten to the point where we should be seeing campaigns. But one thing I can say, we've always seen him do the campaign. Sometimes back, he's able and is capable in what we call organizing people and managing people, managing crowd, managing followers. I think he has that talent, or he has mastered it within these few years. Yeah, so I can't really say his popularity is dimmed. Yeah, that's my take on that, unless there's one that I've not given an answer to. Good. Miguda, are you there? Allow me to say hi to a good friend, Father Danny. Thank you so much, Father Danny, for finding time to join us. And I can see Father is saying that voting for Gachagua presidency is crazy. Gypsy Connor is saying, vote Gachagua, you get double Ruto. Okay. Money is only needed to bribe the voters. Okay. What stands for? Miguda, are you there?
I'm here. I'm here to stay. I'm here even up to in the morning.
Yeah, so what was the next question?
The next question, we discussed about the issue of, I just want to get to the specifics. And when you get time, hello, are you there? I can't see you. I'm seeing blackout. Okay. When we just go by synopsis, there's an issue in Kakamega. Fernandez Baraza is attacking Wycliffe Ambetsa Paranya that because he was never rewarded the CS for treasury, now is interfering, sabotaging ODM, sabotaging Brobe's government, merely based on his allegation on the elections of the party, like the chairperson of the Kakamega. And remember, Fernandez Baraza is the governor, and Oparanya is the former governor. And also we have the by-election in Malava, whereby ODM has a candidate. And I saw Farouk Kibet campaigning there with the UD, and he was saying UD is the national party. So if you can bring your thoughts on that one, and also before you dive into that one, the issue of Gachagua talked about him being popular or having field day immediately after impeachment, then after going to USA, come back, the ground has been neutralized, Matangi wave is gone, not the way it used to be. From next year, campaigns will be like from January to December. How are they going to have a new formation to counter the current arrangement by President William Ruto, changing new tact or not? So kindly discuss that one, elaborate that one do it very elaboratively. Then also you can discuss that issue of Kakamega. Then I'll add you some.
Okay. The one of Kakamega, okay. You want me to get deep into it? I will. You know, politicians are politicians. If a politician wants to survive, and you've always heard this saying that the dying horse, they normally use the you know, the energy they have to fight for their next existence. I did mention here that the governor of Kakamega is not finding it easy in terms of popularity in Kakamega. I don't think that the cabinet secretary of Paranya, with the position that he currently holds, would want to sabotage him just because he was not given the position of cabinet secretary. From my understanding, the only difference is the money they earn is almost the same. The only difference they have is the controls or the power. Even the power they have the same. The only difference is one has the proximity of making very crucial decisions while the other does not. But again, they all sit in the cabinet where decisions which are used to run the country are made. So I don't really think that the view of Governor Kakamega, Fernandez Baraza, is one that we can go with. Because to me, you know, if you are given a cabinet position, whichever docket that you're serving, remember Wycliffe Ambeta Aparanya is one person who his profession is, of course, on matters of business. So the current position that is holding still requires application of the knowledge that he has. If he was not given the position of treasury, I don't think that could be a reason why he would want to sabotage a government that he's working for. And that is why I'm still disputing, or I'm still saying that those comments from Fernandez Baraza are comments which are politically instigated in the sense that he just wants to protect himself. He wants to protect his future, just like I did mention. Remember, Oparanya, before he was appointed as the cabinet secretary, he had indicated that he would support Boni Halwale. And that might be a threat to the current governor together with his deputy. And that would give them all the reasons to come and try fight or to try give comments which are negating the operations of the cabinet secretary, Ambetsa Paranya. Yeah, I think that is what I can say on that particular statement, because to me it's more of politics and it is a fight. Survival tactics that politicians do use to ensure that they are given the next opportunity. On the issue of Rigathi Gachagua and the opposition, yes, there is no excitement the way it used to be before Rigathi Gachagua went to the United States of America. But again, just like also another saying is, the psychology of I mean, the thinking of human beings, or the way human beings operate, is if a song is being played regularly on a daily basis, you will find that they will master even the lyrics, they will master the wordings and everything within that particular music. But when it is stopped for some few years, I mean for some time, coming back for some, when it is stopped for some times, and then it is played again after some times, you'll find that there is a group of people who would have forgotten about the lyrics, about the rhythm, and so it is normal. It could be the country somehow forgot about Rigathi Gachagua just because they took a break. Normally, if you went to whether primary, high school, or even college or university, there is normally a period for break. That break is supposed to give you, to give you a chance to clear your mind and to factory reset. So I think Rigathi is coming back when the people have factory resetted their minds. And that consistent song of Wamunyoro and all those things have somehow gone. But I can't say that he is no longer famous or known by the people. It is only that the consistent tone that he used to bring to play was somehow stopped. But again, remember the president is also together with his team working smartly, because they are taking all the opportunities every day on a daily basis. They are moving. Another camp is on doing empowerment. Another camp is on another certain area, is in another region. The president on the state house, the deputy on somewhere, different regions. And of course, whenever a song is being played consistently, just like I did say, it will be in the mouths of the people. That is what is happening currently. But depending on the styles and the tactics that are going to be used by the opposition currently to counter the moves by the president and his team, they can still survive it. But again, remember, the side of government are getting a lot of benefits in terms of the proximity and the accessibility of the government machineries, which are also being used by the government to ensure that their message of two-term is spread throughout the country. It is not as easy for the opposition, who currently do not even have access to those machineries. And for that reason, we can't expect them to be throughout the country without any machineries, having any possession of all those machineries. Yeah, that is my take on that, Miguda.
Marco Bura, also I want you to get I also want you to get into details the issue of ODM, whereby you find out SG Sifuna can speak anyhow, but is not being called to order with the Right Honorable Raila Odinga. But people like Junet and Wanga, the Sycophant teams, they can only sing praise and worship team that we are in broad base to stay. Basing your answers on interest, do you think these people, because Sifuna said that he's not supporting Ruto, he can bolt anyhow, even he said that I can even walk out, I can even resign, I don't care. But he's not even afraid of losing his position as the center for Nairobi. But if Junet could have said something that I don't care, I can go, I can move, today could have been even demonstration in Suna East to remove him. And we could have got an alternative who is going to campaign against him. Why is it so that some people can stand onto their principality, but some people, they can't dare to challenge their leader?
Let me tell you, even in Lowland alone, you'll never see a single member of parliament coming out to give or to speak negatively about Raila Odinga. that is a sign that Raila has built his ground. He has built it to an extent that even if when he's not there, those people who are supporting, who wants to use his political party to vie in whichever position, they are fearful of even, conversing, because they know that hii ikisikiza na Raila, they'll not get the ticket. But again, that tells you that the people, those particular leaders within Nyanza regions, they've not been performing. They have not been listening and doing what the people want, but instead they've been doing what Raila Amolo Odinga wants. They're afraid because they know very well that if Raila says no, they're not going to get the opportunity to be re-elected. The reason is they've been given the opportunity by the people, but they seem to be listening more to Raila Amolo Odinga more than the people. They are loyal to the party more than the people. And so they cannot risk making statements which are contrary to this person that they are loyal to more than the people. That is the challenge. That is why I can tell you point blank, that somebody like Junet cannot even try, because that would be disastrous to him. Remember, the region where he's a member of parliament, and being that there has been several tag that he's not even, or I don't know whether, there are quite a number of political statements that have been made. So I'm quite sure that he cannot make such kind of comments, because he knows that he cannot survive without their master. They have been reporting to their masters, but not to their constituents. And that is why they know very well that going against their master would warrant them going. Would mean they're going home. Somebody like Sifuna and those within this Nairobi metropolitan, these are people who have worked. And again, the people that they lead, majority of them are not coming from a single tribe or a single region. For that reason, they cannot be dragged and told you have to go this way. Remember, what is happening in Nyanza region is they have to be told we are walking this way, and if you don't walk, it's upon you. So the ones in Nairobi can survive, whether they leave the party or not. That is why you're seeing Baba Owino is still popular. That is why you're still seeing Sifuna is still popular. But those particular members who are from the Luo Nyanza and where the ODM is dominant cannot survive without ODM. I think that's the better explanation for that. They are answerable to their political party leader, but they are not answerable to their constituents. But again, Raila has also played a good game in those Nyanza regions to an extent that he's the one who has to give directions. If he says you are not going to manage, most of time you have to struggle unless the constituents are with you. It's that unfortunate. I think that is my simple, clear statement on that.
Marco Bura, today we saw President William Ruto at the funeral of Ishungwa's dad, and there are things he said. First, he said that Ishungwa's received many bullets, and also he said that Aaron Cheriot said that Ichungwa never attended the declaration of Rigathi Gachagua as the running mate for William Ruto because he believes in William Ruto, not Gachagua. How do you take that question? Because we were looking at the essence whereby, does it mean that politicians, they only console or condole with their friends? And even if their friends are wrong, provided they are their friends that defend them. But if now he could have attended the Gachagwa's inaugural or whatever, could now make him bad in their eyes. And also, I think the other thing is I think that one is
Okay. Thank you. In Kenya, politics is played everywhere. It is played in church. It is played in funeral. It is played in in homes. It is played everywhere in Kenya, and that's so unfortunate because mostly if you see a relative of a politician or a politician going to any funeral, what we've always seen is politics and politics and politics. And most of they do take now advantage to give their political stance mostly when relatives of these politicians die. Well, the president is saying that the member of parliament of Kikuyu has taken a lot of bullets on his behalf. Politically, I agree with that. He has taken a lot of political bullets because he sometimes, remember, he was even being targeted by those people who demonstrated during the last demonstrations. And of course, that was because of his consistent support or consistent comments or being loyal to the president. But again, I know that loyalty or taking all those bullets are being paid for by the government or by the party. So as much as it is being paid for, they have to speak about it as well. But what I can say is that Ishungwa has supported the president. He has stood with him even at the worst point. He has stood with him and made some comments, even at a point when certain comments are not supposed to be made. He has spoken sometimes, and he has spoken to an extent that some people would then ask if whether he went with his brain or he left it somewhere. And that is a sign that is truthful to his boss. The only question I'm having is why, to what extent would he be truthful to his boss? I think the most important thing is he should be truthful to the people who elected him. He needs to be truthful to the people of Kenya, the citizens of the Republic of Kenya, because remember, when they are being taken through the oath, they have to include the people of Kenya in that particular statement. So I think the most important thing is loyalty has to be to the people, the citizens of the Republic of Kenya, before you give that loyalty to a certain leader. And that is the question that we are also asking within the ODM party. There is more of loyalty to the party leader more than to the citizens of the constituents who gave them the opportunity in those different constituencies or different parts of the Republic of Kenya. So I can say it is not right. It is a wake-up call. One thing again that is so unfortunate is whenever these politicians are being praised or someone who is having a higher position than them is praising them, what we've always seen is they feel good, they feel nice, they feel small, they always want to be commended. And that is the worry of majority of the people of Kenya. You should let the people who elected you comment you, should let the people that you are leading comment you, but not comments which are coming out of greed and all those kind of things. I think that is my take, Mr. Miguda. And maybe I can take one other question.
Okay, I want to take two. Take two. Then you'll have your final remarks. Then you can just close from your end. Kindly, so you have like three. The two questions, then final remarks, then you can close. We got like four to go. One, we saw, I don't know. Let's get into English Premier League because you understand Lavan Misiani and our good friend Gypsy Corner, they are all supporters of Liverpool. Right now they are at the top of the table and they have different political ideologies, but when it comes to footballs, they are on the same club. And I want to focus on the issue of Manchester United. You saw Manchester United had requested the coach actually requested new players. The club gave him new players. He released the players he never wanted to work with. And also he was allowed to do his formation and also
bring Bruno back to number 6 from 10, and also he was allowed to play the 3 defenders. Up to now, Manchester United has not performed good, even though everything has been put into place. The type of players you wanted, whatever. Does it mean now the coach is the problem or the players? That's a question for you. Number 2, currently we are experiencing the athletes in Tokyo, Japan. And I think in the morning I was able to watch mainstream media. We had a gold medal, and we were number 2 globally. Number 1 was America, then number 2 was Kenya. I don't know right now how they have turned to be. So Kenyans have been doing good, even though Omanyala failed to go for the finals of 100 meters because he was unprepared. By people were saying so. I saw people like Faith Kipyegon doing good, Jeb Ngetich, and other athletes. What's your comments? What's your compliments on those athletes and also the state of the athletes in the Tokyo, Japan? And you can just give your final remarks, then you can close the show. But I'm here.
Now, now that you brought football, I'll give my comments and then I'll also bring you back to give your comments on that. First, I want you to, I believe you know, I used to be a fanatic supporter of Manchester United, but I left. I left following football along the way. The reason why I left, Manchester walianza kugongwa. Those days, I don't know if you remember the days Arsenal walichapa Man U 6, was it 6-0 or 8-0? Those are the days I stopped following because it was hurting for me as a supporter of Manchester. Ikuwa tu tutapigwa kila siku. Tottenham pia ilikuja ikawapiga sijui 4-0, and those are so hurting for me, so I somehow slowed down on politics, on football, but I'm starting to come back. I was thinking of coming back, lakini kenye nimeona tena njia ni ile tu ya kugonga Manchester kila siku, and so I'm still thinking I'm not really going to come up fully to continue following politics, because at this rate I'm going to get into the same problems I'd gotten into some years back. But again, I think Manchester United have gone through a lot in terms of management, football management. The coach, I think he has not been really understanding some players, and that I think has been a serious thing. Remember, even the players themselves, most of the time they have come out to say that the coach has to go so that they can get a chance to give their to give their views on the kind of management that needs to be taking place in that particular party. Remember, Man U is one of those parties that has been in existence for quite years and years. The first and the biggest parties. Football teams, and what it has always lacked is good management. It has lacked good coach. A coach would do a good management and ensure that there's understanding between the players themselves, understanding between the wishes of the supporters, the wishes and the views of the supporters as well. Oh, okay. Okay, I've seen those comments. Yeah, so it's if what would happen if the management and of course the coach would come to an agreement and listen to the players, because you have to give the players a chance. You have to understand the players, you have to understand the numbers and the kind of games that they do play, and that is what Manchester has always lacked, because a coach would come and then he decides who to put on to give a certain number, he decides who is going to play, and that is like ni kama pata potea, and that is what has really costed a big team, one that has always had the opportunities to shine. That is what I can say about that. And on athletics, I feel that Kenya has the best in the world in terms of athletics. Not just the best, Kenya has the most excellent. And what we are lacking as an athlete country is, of course, good management of these athletic uh, persons. We've lacked what we call good payment. We've lacked good. Uh, we've lacked good academies to mentor our athletes. Majority of them are finding it tough in terms of, just affording their daily meals or daily basic things. And remember, these are people who are worldwide, who are recognized worldwide. The likes, quite a number of them have not really enjoyed life the way it should, because they need to be paid well, they need to be given all what is needed. And that is part of the things. The same problem that Manchester United is facing is the same problem that our athletes here in Kenya are also facing, because we do not have a structured way of handling quite a number of things, logistics, and all those kind of things. And that is part of the problems we've lacked or we've suffered as a country. Good management will always give us the best in terms of performance, and that is what I still stick with. Miguda, come back and give us your take on Liverpool, Manchester, and the Uniteds. And before I come to give my final remarks.
Oh, Marco Bura, I just wanted to say, I've seen comments. First, let me appreciate Asili2 TV for coming to the show. And Asili2 TV has said that since he came here, stop following football. That was a very good comment. Barack nursing his sorrows. So I just want to say, in the terms of football, first, I can just say, sometimes you can decide to leave football, but so if I leave Manchester United today, where will I go in the Premier League? I just come back to local league and support Gor Mahia. I'll remain a fanatic supporter of Gor Mahia. And right now Gor Mahia has done very good signings. So they brought Kibwagi, the defender. The people who played against the last team which we qualified for quarterfinal in Chan, the last defenders, that is Sylvester Wino and Kibwagi. Those are the defenders who are going to play for us this league. But on the issue of Premier League, I just want to say, of course, I'm disappointed because our coach said that he never wanted some players. We let them go. People like Garnacho, Rashford, and also Onana is gone. He brought his people of choice, Konya, Beumo, and also Yoro. He also said that he don't want to play our formation. He want to play 3-4-4. I think 3-4-4-1. We allowed him. He said he never wanted Bruno in 10. He brought him to number 6. We allowed him. But we haven't had any victory. So what do you do as a team? You chase the coach away. So the coach should leave. And I'll find another club if that is the case, because I can't continue this way. If I'll go to Liverpool, but I've not yet decided. I'll see what to do with the future. But for now, let us chase away the coach first, and we see in the first leg. So we'll discuss it in the future. And that's the future of English Premier League football, because we are really disappointed as those of us who followed it, and those of us who like it. Makubura, you are saying you left watching football. You left following football. But my question to you is, you are too young you are too young not to follow football. At your age, you can't say that. At your age, You can't say that you don't like football, or oh, then what are you doing if you don't watch football or if you don't follow Manchester United? So I think the reason why I'm saying this is because even you love a family in the future, but you love kids, so you must also. There was a person who said that football, not even a person, it's obvious, it's in public knowledge that football is not an ordinary game. It is a game of money. Soccer is a game of money, and even when you are having your kids, even you yourself, you want to buy books into bookshop, or if you want to buy your kids books or take them to school, but remember to buy them football. Sorry, you want to buy them ball, because if you buy them ball, you find people are earning through football, because if you score 1 goal, 1 million. So if you score 2 goals, 2 million, you saw what happened previously in our Arambe Stars, the Chan. If you had a good manager financially who could have managed your finance, I think they came out with around 5 million. If you are a football player and you are a very good finance manager, right now you could be doing something good with that your 5 million. Just 90 minutes, you have 1 million in your pocket. 90 minutes, you have 2.5 million in your pocket. Just 90 minutes. So if you are doing other things like education, maybe, but you should also play. Yeah. You know, they say that more work but no play made someone a dull boy. So even you can play indoor games like badminton, table tennis, but football is good. One day you come to understand football is good, and football is a game of money, whereby if you enjoy playing it, then you're gonna get money, and if you get money, you're gonna live a good life just through football. You know, talent alone, like the young guy Mazrui, 19-year-old guy, a 19-year-old boy, within 90 seconds, 90 minutes, I mean, he was having 2.5 million. That is the last one before we went for quarterfinals. The one Ruto promised the 2.5. 90 minutes. And even he went for in second half. So I think 45 minutes, roughly 30 minutes, you have 2.5 million. So you make it within 45 minutes. So Makubura, is high time I can encourage you, do not lose hope. Asikubali kushindwa si mshindani. Life doesn't end with football. We have been, the same man you are talking about. We have gone to relegation at a time, and then we made a comeback. So hata tokea relegation is sawa tu. Anyway, so I just want to say I want to appreciate our viewers who have come to the show. The one I'm able to see, Laban Musiani, thank you for coming to the show, and thank you for being a consistent totem and also a Liverpool fan. I appreciate you big for being on the top of the table. Gypsy Corner, I want to appreciate you also for coming to the show, and also congratulate your team for doing a good work. And actually, I can tell you that your team, the Liverpool team and Arsenal, are doing a good job in the Premier League. And right now, I can say I had 3 teams in mind. I had Arsenal, Liverpool, Chelsea, but now I have 2 teams. Arsenal and Liverpool are likely going to carry the English Premier League, and they are serious about it. They are serious teams to watch this season. Arsenal and Liverpool. I also want to appreciate our good friend Asili TV. Welcome to the show. And Father Didi also welcome to the show. Judith Karuta was here, our good friend and comrade. Thank you for supporting us. Brenda Bedi, asanteni sana. See you next time. Bye bye everybody.
I'm surprised. Miguda was lecturing me why I've left football. I don't know, I'm young or what. Miguda, I think you understand that you only put your interest where you find peace. If I'm not finding peace in football, especially mkigongwa kila siku, then I don't think there's nothing wrong keeping away or staying away, because I don't want to be crying every day. Yeah, labda sitaki kukua kama naona Gypsy alisema hapa, our good friend is nursing his sorrow. Sitaki nifike kwa hiyo, I do not want to get there. So maybe that might be the reason why I'm not fully into the football arena or stories, but niko sawa. So far things are good. Wacha nyinyi mgongwe wakimaliza kuwagonga, I'll find time and also come mkianza kufanya mambo, lakini for now I'll keep a distance kidogo, taniwia tu radhi. Yeah, so I want to take this opportunity to say a big thank you to our good friend Gypsy Corner, to our good friend Asili 2 TV, to our good friend Laban Misiani, to our good friend Father Didi, Lamek Madende, who was watching us via Facebook. I want to say a big thank you to Judith Karitha. I want to say a big thank you to Brenda Obedi. I also want to say a big thank you to Ento Oket, Leo Nyabaya, Mary Omondi, Lamek Madende, Be Semekia Wakiaga. Thank you so much for finding time to join us this evening. We really appreciate. Once again, this is Brother Benson Media, and here we say that your opinion counts. If you're watching for the first time, kindly like and subscribe to the channel. It is a way of supporting us. Na ukifanya hivyo, sisi hapa tutasema ni asante sana. I want to take this opportunity to wish you all a blessed night, a blessed morning, a blessed afternoon, a blessed evening from wherever you're watching us from. Thank you so much, and may God bless you. See you again tomorrow.